Kanpai!
Kanpai, everyone. Kanpai. It's Kanpai o'clock. Kanpai time. Kanpai celebration. I don't know what I'm saying. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 137 of Kanpai Cast. It is the spring 2024 mid-season review. We've got still a lot of shows. I hope we can do this in under 3 hours. I mean, we dropped like 6 shows from last time, so at least get that much out of the way. But before we get into any of that, first off, hi Thaylien, hi Xeno, how are you guys? You ready to dive in?
Good. Yeah, cool. Kind of surprised at how smooth this has gone so far. Expecting shit to hit the fan.
It always does.
Okay. Not to give everyone a little taster. We are normally a minimum of 30 minutes late in recording.
And
right?
We're 45 minutes early this time.
Yeah. Even when we say we're going to start early, typically we start late still.
Yeah. And even when we manage to hit the record button early, something happens to interrupt. And
it just breaks it. So I'm expecting something to go wrong.
Start somebody's modem or something.
Paranoid.
I did that. Luckily, I did that before the recording this time. So anyway, a little bit of housekeeping. You know the usual stuff. Like the video, comment. I love your comments. We all love your comments. We read them on the show. If you happen to like what you see here and you're not subscribed, why not tickle that subscribe button a little bit? Just give it a little goosing. And in other, maybe even ring the bell. Ooh. Make our channel, tinkle. I really don't know what I'm saying today. In our other news, so our Kanpai Cast audio version, which we've started uploading, we've decided that we're going to start cutting out the memes section of them. Because, frankly, the memes are often very visual. They're almost exclusively visual. So it really doesn't do any good for an audio version. So if you're listening to the audio version and you want to see the memes, why don't you just head over to the YouTube channel and you can skip right to that section using our fancy timestamps that Thaylien so kindly puts in every week.
There should be a link to the YouTube episode in the audio podcast.
Excellent.
So it just if you're listening to us and you want to check out the memes after you've listened to us, there should be a link in there that allows you to go straight. I don't know, we have to clean up the description of that because it's a giant mess because it's taken from YouTube and it's taken from YouTube badly. It's the point is it's still massively automated and it works, and we're moving forward.
Very cool. Right, so I think that basically covers it. Shall we dig right in before we waste 10 minutes on the intro?
Yep.
Right.
So
have we dropped, Xeno?
Right, so we have dropped a salad bowl of eccentrics, the gods is games we play, Mission Yozakura Family, The Banished Former Hero Lives As He Pleases, The New Gate, and Yatagarasu? No, Yatagarasu, sorry.
I have one question about Yozakura Family. I haven't talked to Laws about this recently, but I know he was kind of watching it and actually enjoying it. Have you heard anything more from him about that?
I don't know if he was he watching it?
Yeah, because he said it was actually kind of fun, and we were both like, what are you talking about? It's awful.
It's all the bad parts of Spy Family, which is not your killing things. I haven't spoken to him about that.
All right, cool. Well, if you out there in the audience are still watching it, let us know what you think, because we gave up.
Cool, right, okay, so I think the ultimate question is, who wants to go last in the list?
Well, who has the best show? I've got Mushoku Tensei and KonoSuba.
You've also got Spice and Wolf.
Thaylien has Kaiju number 8. And Xeno has a bunch of garbage.
We're also watching. So
He has
Yeah.
Demon King Academy, which I suppose is good.
So I'm probably gonna say let's leave Nasuth last. So I'm happy to go first, and then Thaylien, and then
Sure.
yeah, because I think Nasuth's got some
I
of the
got all the
absolute
good
bits.
shows. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first show I'm going to talk about was one that I ended up picking up off the back of dropping so many last from the 3-episode rule, which is I was reincarnated as the 7th prince so I can take my time to perfect my magic ability. Alright? This is a dumb, fun isekai series, and I absolutely enjoy the crap out of it. And I think I'm going to give this... Oh my god, for love of... So I'm trying to paste the actual value into this stupid... Oh my god, this is killing me. Copy. Paste. Thank you. Right. I think I'm going to give this... a 3-star acquired taste. Right?
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
why
for...
can't you do that for you, Xeno?
I was struggling with my brain. So the whole series is basically about it's a reincarnation series as opposed to an isekai. I think I said an isekai initially, but effectively it's about a commoner who ends up dying, who ends up coming back to life as a noble, but he is the 7th prince in the line of succession to the royal family, and basically because he is the 7th prince, there's like no pressure on him to assume the throne, and he doesn't give a flying fuck about assuming the throne because he is so magically adept. He just wants to play around with magic, and thus he does, right? He goes to town playing with magic, and to the point of he is assigned a maid who is effectively his bodyguard, and she is training him, but he doesn't technically learn how to use a sword. He ends up using a spell to copy her moves, right? So he's 100% cheating to the point of she is she has an advantage, obviously, because of her age. She is bigger than him. So while they are practicing with wooden swords, he gives himself an advantage by making his sword ever so slightly bigger. So he actually grows the wood. And, like, you know, there's, like, little shoots sprouting off of it.
Happen till puberty.
Well, this guy he's got so much riz. Like this is him fighting her now with the sword.
Because he's reincarnated. He was born with puberty.
He was born with ultra riz. Anyway, so but yeah, so it's a dumb fun series. He ends up going to the forbidden library that he didn't know about in the basement of the castle. He breaks the seals on it, as you do. He then releases the demon inside one of the grimoires, as you do, and then basically enslaves the demon, as you do.
As you do.
As you do.
Very good.
That's the chibified demon. After he's basically enslaved. And one of the really cool things is that the demon basically hints at a way of making the magic so much more potent by effectively dual casting the spell. So the demon splits his head in two and is able to actually dual cast the same spell, and it makes it more powerful. Obviously our Riz Lord is like, yeah, I don't care for this, but he ends up
I've heard of being two-faced, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, he ends up, when he subjugates the demon, right? He ends up using the demon's own trick against, he just tests with it and things. He ends up forcing the demon into his hand, so he has another mouth in his hand, so he can actually do dual cast spells, but then actually mixes two spells together and creates like a pocket Armageddon. Yeah. So it's better than that, Thaylien. Yeah.
Is it like
Anyway.
Vampire Hunter D?
It was just a shock.
Sorry, say that again.
Just the shock of
No.
Armageddon, that was all. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it like Vampire Hunter D, where his hand talks to him?
No.
Oh.
No. So
certainly not like that rom-com where the girl becomes his hand.
Or Parasite.
Anyway, right. Okay. So going back to this, it is good. It is fun. If you're after something very childish whimsy and things like that, and just ludicrous Chad-like behaviors, I think this is a show for a lot of people. So I would even say, Thaylien, you should pick this up because I think you'll really enjoy it.
But probably not
I
Nasuth.
might have to. Depends on whether I drop my worst one or not.
Right.
So,
I'm a handover.
speaking of my worst one, I'm actually going to start with that. I'm going to start with Chillin in Another World with level 2 Super Cheat Powers.
Oh.
Last time, at the 3-episode rule, it was a nothing special 2-star, and it remains unchanged.
Yeah, a lot of mine have not really
So,
moved any this time either.
You guys have seen Deadpool.
Yeah.
And you know it takes 4 or 5 moments to become a hero. Choices that matter.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for TV series.
Okay.
So this is the thing. So there are, over the course of 6 episodes, 4 or 5 really good moments in this, and scenarios. For example, while they're living in a nice little house in the woods, he and his demon waifu, they have the 4 adventurer characters staying with them, and the demon lord comes to say hello, check in on Fenris here, and the knight character confronts him as he arrives, and who are you? What are you doing here? So, I'm come to see the owners of this place. The adventurer or his wife? His wife. Then that means you're a demon. Leave now, or you'll face my steel, kind of thing. And so he goes, right, and turns around and walks off. But then once she tells the adventurer and Fenris about it, the demon lord comes back to stay to visit properly. But because of that, they sit him next to the swordswoman when they're having a conversation, and she is petrified knowing who he is now. Absolutely, like deadpan. I can't move. My back's giving out. My knees are giving out. I can't stand up. I can't leave. What do I do? And there's a moment where the demon lord's kind of like, oh really? And unleashes all his power to try and threaten them. And of course, Fenris and Fleo are completely unfazed, but the swordswoman nearly faints sitting up with just a fixed smile on her face. But when the demon lord goes to leave, he's thinking to himself, he says, I never thought I'd find a human who would be completely unfazed by my power. I'm so glad I found 2 of them. And from then on, he's coming back to, for the rest of the episode, he's coming back to visit her. And she keeps trying to escape. Like, no, I have to go gather wood for the fire. Running off one way. No, I have to go wash my clothes in the river. Running off the other. Because she doesn't know what to do. The demon lord actually likes her. So it's funny moments, but overall, you can't get away from some of the bad animation. Like just the same scene right after Fleo, the adventurer, is, saying, "It was nice meeting you. Good to see you. I wish you a good, safe journey home." That kind of thing. And in the background, Fenris is sitting there next to him, like with a teacup in her hand, but her face is drawn like MS Paint. And it's not even intentional, because it's not like the knight's expression that was deliberately cartoonified and wobbly, to be. It's just badly drawn. And it's so glaringly obvious. You just shift your attention from him to her for a second, and you can't look away because it's just so off model. And those things really hold it back.
It's really interesting you say this, because I have seen a number of shorts as I doom scroll up, and the number of shorts I've seen that are praising this isekai as, I quote, the best isekai out there, right? Like, I'm just like, you clearly haven't watched things like Mushoku Tensei or the first season of Shield Hero, or fuck even KonoSuba.
Or they can't get past
KonoSuba,
the perverted early parts of Mushoku Tensei.
But there's also
Even Shield Hero.
Shield Hero, yeah, for sure.
But there's a few good things, right? So after this conversation, they have to move house, and because of the absence of him, the Demon King thinks that the regular king's army has come and chased him off, or destroyed his house or something, and so he goes to war. But with but our main character doesn't even know about it, and in the chasing off the demons, the king is exhausted, and the princess has to take over and makes all sorts of great changes, like kicking the false hero out. So there is progression, but it's just held back by so many bad little bits. So I'm just going to leave it there. It's not. It's, as I say, 4 or 5 moments are not enough to make a good series.
Do you think you'll actually keep watching this?
Oh yeah, this is my choice for the bad show of the season.
Okay, fair enough.
I couldn't do that this season. I just couldn't make myself do it.
Should we move on to Nasuth?
Absolutely.
Sure. So I will take Windbreaker, since it is probably the worst one on my list.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still... Why are my hands freaking out? Stop freaking out, hands. I'm still... I said stop. I'm still kind of enjoying it, but I wouldn't say it's amazing. In fact, it was a Nothing Special 5-star, and now it's dropped down to a Nothing Special 4-star. I will admit part of that is based on the fact that I have seen 7 episodes, and the tournament arc that started in episode 5 continues through episode 7 and probably it's not even done yet, so there's going to be at least one more episode. And I mean, the tournament arc's been okay. It has had some interesting moments where we get to see character backstories, and you learn a little bit more about, like, you know, sort of the world that they... Stop it right now. But I mean, you can watch this at 1.5 or 1.25 speed, easy. There's been a couple of them that have been kind of like that, in my opinion. But this is probably the worst offender.
Is that a detriment that realistically it's bearable only at 1.25 speed?
I wouldn't say it's less bearable at normal speed. But the fact that you can watch it at 1.25 speed, at least, and not really miss out on anything, I don't know. You know, for context, I was able to watch Spice and Wolf at 1.25 speed as well, and it didn't ruin any of the drama in that one for me.
Okay, that's fine. So I mean, certainly for me, it's something that I struggle to do, but regardless of that, it's like, if you're sat there getting bored out of your skull going to fucking do something, so you speed it up. That was the main crux of my questioning.
No. It's part of it's mostly that I also had to get through a bunch of stuff. But the tournament arc did bore me a little bit, I will admit. So that, yeah, you might have somewhat of a point there.
Why is there a tournament arc?
Okay. In episode 3, they hear news about a middle schooler that was bullied by... So one of their members followed a rival gang into their territory because they were bullying a middle schooler, and he wanted, being part of
The good guys.
I can't remember their name, but yeah, the good guys. He went and he followed along to stop them, right? But he went into their territory, which is a big no-no. And so a bunch of our heroes went to, get him, went to go grab him. And in the process, essentially started a turf war. And so the rival gang comes to their hideout, and says, "Hey, you come fight us. You know, we want to do a one-on-one fight, but it ends up being a series of 5 one-on-one fights, ending with the 2 leaders." And so that's why it's kind of a tournament. It's not exactly a tournament arc because there's no ranking.
There's no competition behind it.
Yeah.
It's just 5 1v1 fights for some reason.
Yeah, because there's a lot of grudges going on that we didn't know about until this starts. And they use this as a way to reveal those grudges and those connected backstories and stuff.
I don't know about you, but I really don't like that.
It's okay. It's handled mostly all right, and you know, the stories are kind of interesting, but the fact that it's gone on for 3 episodes and will go on for at least 4 out of this whole 12-episode season. I assume it's just 12 episodes. Is kind of like. But I kind of figured this show out, right? I don't know how far I am into my review. Wow, I've already eaten up all my time.
Just do it.
I kind of figured it out. It's the reason you're annoyed. One of the big reasons you're annoyed is that it's in a school, but there are no teachers. There's no classes. It's not. But the thing is, it's a modern setting, but it's not actually a modern setting. It's more of like, imagine a historical drama, right, where you've got different samurai schools and that sort of thing. That's what this is. This is a vaguely disguised historical sort of shonen show.
So, and the thing is, you would have like your master at like the school / dojo or whatever, but the master wouldn't be someone of a different stature entirely. They wouldn't be a teacher. They would also still be a samurai themselves. So it makes sense for the leader of the school to actually be a delinquent themselves.
Yes,
right.
And they're here learning their fighting styles and that sort of thing.
I'll give it credit for that. That's actually quite clever. But at the same time, it just feels dumb as fuck that it's a school.
Yeah, I get you. But it's because it's a samurai school. I mean, the other gang doesn't even live in a school, right? They live in an old abandoned theater. So I think our group are only the ones that live in school, maybe.
Okay. So I have a question for you, and this is a huge turn off for me. So we will have seen in the screenshots earlier on. I wanted to bring it a point earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt you. There were 2 characters. One that had ginger hair, that had an afro, and then one with pink hair. Right, that's like all slick and slick back and everything. Right, they appear in
you mean the
episode
redhead. I mean the blonde guy.
No, not the blonde guy. He has like a headband. They're in at the end of episode 2. Right, the same time you're introduced to Eye Patch Kid, right? You're introduced to these 2. They have names, but they never make an appearance again, right?
Yeah.
And you see them in the background of the fight between the main protagonist and the guy that's a snot-nosed punk that, picks a fight when he enters the classroom. They're there. They're given names, and that's it. And it's just like, why did you put any time on those 2 characters? Right, I don't understand. And from the guess, I'd assume they have yet to come back. Right? Yeah. I do feel there are pacing issues with this show. Right? I do feel like...
Yeah, again, I would say the fact that we've been stuck in a tournament, well, a series, I'm going to call it a tournament arc because that's essentially what it is.
Sure.
For 4 episodes... I would agree with you that there are definitely pacing issues. But it is really well animated. Well, for the most part, it's well animated. There are a couple of times that it's like, I don't know about that. And yeah, that's about it. That's really well animated.
Okay.
I'm not dropping it because I'm still enjoying it more than I'm not enjoying it. But I wouldn't say I recommend. That's why it's a nothing special. I wouldn't say I recommend it.
Okay, right. Shall we move on to the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
Take us away.
What do you got for us?
For me, it's Date A Live Season 5, right? And last season, 3-episode rule, I put it at an acquired taste 1 star. It is now an acquired taste 4 star. Right?
Wow.
Episode 4 really swung it the fuck around.
Oh, this is still showing.
Right?
Oops.
Hold on, I'll swap it. It's fine. But it really stepped up its game in terms of the narrative structure. It has huge implications in the narrative that hark back to events that happened all the way back in season 1, right?
Whoa.
Which, yeah, I will always tip my cap to something that plans that far in advance.
In retrospect, does it make the events of season 1 better?
No.
Okay.
No. It makes the events of this season better because it's quite clearly this was all planned from the get-go. Like, the author knew where the fuck they wanted to take the whole thing. To me, that's great. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. Not everyone's going to enjoy the whole the harem, the dumb dating stuff, the sort of with the Otome games, the girls dating sims. There we go. That a lot of people aren't going to enjoy that side to this comedy series, and it's not going to be for everyone. But dear God, I did not expect the some of the events that have happened that I've just like, holy crap, this wow.
No one expects the events that have happened.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
No one expects the 4th season.
Right, but so I do think that this is rounding up the entire show. I think that the 5th season will be, in fact, the last season.
Interesting.
Yep. And again, hats off to shows that actually have a definitive ending that again properly planned it out and things. Could they flub it? Of course. Like, how many shows have we had that just don't stick the landing and end up breaking both ankles and crushing their skull on impact?
Looking at you,
but
Heaven's was it Heaven's
Heavenly Delusion?
Heavenly Delusion.
Yeah. Or was it Hell's Paradise? Because Hell's Paradise is still expecting season 2.
Yeah, Heavenly Delusion is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so like it could fail the landing, but in all honesty, it's really changed it. Yes, there is a huge caveat. You have to watch all the seasons. Yeah. And I do recommend watch the movie that's between seasons 2 and 3. But yeah, I honestly could not be more pleasantly surprised, and I'm jonesing for more.
Awesome.
Cool. Which was certainly something that I was not jonesing for when it came to. Anyway,
so
unless you have any question, yeah.
Harem comedy, but I assume it also has its very serious side.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, the thing is, so you know how you get a lot of shows that have tonal whiplash, where it's just like, are you serious or are you trying to be funny?
Fable kind of has that. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, but with Data Live, even the serious parts are still silly and funny, right? They are fairly predictable in terms of their humor, but in all the plot, I'm not predicting any of this shit, and that's the best part.
Very cool.
Yeah, and when you got a harem this big, harem this big, do you really need to have a 6th season? Anyway, sorry. For anyone that's listening, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 girls.
Well, not 12.
No, the one on the left is not a girl, and the guy in the back is the main guy. That's a guy.
Oh yeah, we don't need the Judas character out of this apostles thing.
And you've muted yourself, Nasuth.
Hey, guys can be in the harem too.
Anyway, right, Thaylien.
I'm going to move on to the one I may actually drop from this season, which is Remonster. Now, this was let's see. This was a nothing special 4-star, and it's going down to a nothing special 2-star.
That's fair.
Because, and the reason I may be dropping this is because I completely forgot the casual glossing over of non-consensual naughties with both elves and royal knights that the main character does to get them on his side. Literally.
Wait. Is this episode 4 onwards?
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the whole thing with him getting a harem immediately is one thing.
Yeah.
But apparently, what he's been doing, what he does with with most of the enemies, he will in fact eat to gain their abilities.
Yeah.
That's something. But
As
they're being brought on as a mercenary group to take on the human army, and that's moving in because the humans want this magical cure that the elves can make. So the elves are hiring them as a mercenary group to take on the humans. And as in part of this, it's a weird one because when he beats a force of humans, he captures the officers and the ones that look like they can do something, but the female officers and things are all like nobility, and in order to get them to actually listen to do what he wants, he basically leaves them stewing in aphrodisiac for days, and then it proves that they're not nobles by having his way with them.
That's wow.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that.
I'm not okay with that either.
Wow.
And I feel worse for having watched this show now. So it's dropping down. The rest of it as a show is standard, like, overpowered isekai affair. This is a massive no for me.
And it only dropped down 2 for you because of that.
For the rest of the no, that's what I mean. This is the solid thing about this is why I'm dropping it. The rest of the show actually has some,
Gotcha.
Okay. Did the rest of his harem not turn around, just go like, no, you shouldn't do this?
I think they know.
Okay, don't get me wrong, right? If they do know and they're like, oh, yeah, this is so perfectly legitimate, I'm like, no, you should be resisting this. Like, considering what he did to save you, right? You should. Wow, I'm not okay with this.
If this comes back to bite him in the ass, it might not be. Well, no, who am I kidding? It's still terrible.
It's not going to because it's the same kind of story where what he does is right, even if it's wrong to anybody else with moral standards.
No, I'm not. I'm so glad that even though Slime Isekai was inspired heavily from this, Slime Isekai was the first one. Wow, that's
dropped down. The show itself, beyond this, is still in the nothing special range, but this massive, like, I watched it and I just felt dirtier for having seen it.
Yeah,
means this is the one that I will be dropping out of the season.
I mean, like, don't let me influence you, but like personally, I would put this as a pass. Like, I would have been like, no, this is.
That moment would be enough to drag it way down for me. Just that moment.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. I'm putting this right there as big front and center. This is why I do not recommend this show.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual quality of the show, but outside of this, I've still got to give it A rating.
Yeah, if you can get past that, then okay, fine.
Yeah,
but...
if you're one of those people that genuinely thinks that the slavery in some of the other animes is okay, and some of the the ones where they actually
might
are
be able to
slaves, or like that one where the guy gets revenge on his people by buying their mothers enslaved and that kind of thing.
What?
You not seen that?
Oh yeah.
What?
That's happened
there's
in a couple of anime now, I think.
There's now an anime being made. What are you? Fuck off. It's a
Bug of
gigantic
something?
blue bottle flying around. Anyway,
Okay.
so there's a manga that's getting an anime adaptation some point soon, where a guy
Is this the bully one?
Hmm?
Is this where the guy gets bullied and then he pulls the mums?
No, he doesn't pull them. It's
buys
an
them.
adventurous style of one. He buys them as slaves.
Okay, there's another one where he basically seduces the
Yeah,
mum.
I've seen the advert for that one.
Okay. Okay, I didn't hear of that, but okay, right, okay. Oof. That was oof. Right, should we move on?
That was unexpected.
That was very unexpected.
Right. So let's take Fable. The Fable.
Okay. The Fable.
Him and his weird faces.
Shit, I'm trying to find it.
It's the one where he's sitting there like tapping his forehead.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay.
So this was an acquired taste 4-star, and it is still an acquired taste 4-star. A lot of mine have not moved at all, I don't think. So at the end of the first 3 episodes, Fable had to face a moral dilemma. He was sent here. He was not allowed to kill anyone. And the Yakuza leader was like, you got to prove, or not your leader, sorry, the second in command was like, you got to kill this guy to prove you're actually who you say you are to me. I'm not, you know, I don't believe you. And he manages to get around that in a really nice and interesting way. And I don't want to tell you, but essentially it comes down to the fact that he's not a serial killer. He's a pro. And he doesn't want to just murder people randomly. And the fact that he owns a pet now kind of saves his life, which is really cute and interesting.
Sorry, can I ask?
As Team Fortress 2 put it, you know, the difference being one is a job, the other's mental sickness.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't take pleasure in killing people. He takes pleasure in doing his job well.
Right, so he's a professional. That's the okay.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
So he's not a serial killer. He's just a professional hitman. Right. Okay.
Yeah. The whole bizarre sibling thing that's going on makes everyone else seem more normal by comparison, which is great. The sister outdrinks the Yakuza that she was out on a date with, and this changes her entire opinion of the guy. Initially, she was like, "Oh, this is just some creeper. He's cheap as fuck, you know. I don't know, whatever." But the moment he turns absolutely pathetically wasted, turns out that's what she's into. She really gets off on pathetic guys for some reason. It's just bizarre.
Fuck.
Just bizarre. Fable's weird idiosyncrasies, like his obsession with this character on screen right now, have already been explained. Although we do get a little more of his backstory in this part, which is kind of nice. The Yakuza boss, this is all under the makes the other characters seem normal by their insanity, right? So the Yakuza boss worries about his family and sons, and his son, oh, these kids today, they don't want to get a job. You need to go out there and get a real job, which is part of where the arc leads into. The rest of the arc leads into. The girl there's a girl that he sees, that Fable has seen, who's always running everywhere with a backpack. She turns out she's working 5 jobs to pay for her parents' debt and go to school. Shockingly normal, right? Compared to the rest of this show. And I love that. And I believe all of these threads are going to intersect at some point.
Okay.
So we also find out this may not be the only Fable. There may be more quote-unquote Fables within the organization that he works for. There are running gags. So we've seen other shows that have running gags that are terrible, right? The wrong way to use... Or not wrong way to use healing magic. Don't Hurt Me, My Healer, Jockey. Okay. Those all have really bad running gags. But the ones in this one are used effectively and not always exclusively. So it's not just the same gag. Fable's job hunt, but you do have some, right? So Fable is on a job hunt in this arc because he's been told by the Yakuza guy to get a job, be normal, getting a job is part of being normal, right? And so he goes on a job hunt, and everyone reacts really badly to the fact that his birthday's on April. Well, his fake birthday is on April 1st, and his hobby is watching that guy. And so that joke plays out like 3 or 4 times. But it doesn't really get stale because after those 3 or 4 times, it goes away. That's it.
Yeah.
This part seemed mostly about Sato, that's Fable's name, getting a job, becoming more human, and moving pieces into place for later parts of the story. Job's only 800 yen per hour, delivery job on a bike, and his physical skills make him just super amazing at it.
God.
But it's only 800 yen, and he doesn't care. He's just like, oh, this is so much fun. He's just having fun, which is like hilarious. He still can't understand why 800 yen is bad or why his skills are amazing. He does crazy things like foil an upskirt camera of his coworker, completely undetected at an office outing, while eating chicken bones and edamame skin like it's nothing, like it's just normal behavior. Clearly aimed at an older audience, probably mid-20s to early 30s. From the tone in both the humor and the crime, because they do they do have crime elements in here too. I'm
Sure.
loving the show. I know it's only an acquired taste 4-star, but I am loving the show. Highly recommend if you're into that kind of sort of almost absurdist humor with a dark tone.
I don't actually even want to ask about some of the statements you made. I'm content having them sit there with no context.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway,
Right. Moving back to moi. And I'm going to cover Unnamed Memory. So as soon as I can find it in the show thing, right? Okay. So last oh god. 3-episode rule, I gave it an acquired taste 1 star. Right? It has fallen to a nothing special 1 star.
ooh,
And
ow.
is going to be one of the ones that I'm dropping. Animation is pretty solid, right? They don't really cheap out on the animation, which is pretty good. But the pacing and narrative issues that the show has, they do nothing with it, right? That, like, you know, it feels like they didn't sit down and properly pace things out. There are moments of animation where so they go from moment to moment, and typically when you change camera angle, you change the clip and things, you're basically telling the narrative from a different angle, which gives you the opportunity to skip forward a little bit. It's like, you know, for example, if you've got 2 characters trying to jump into water, you'll look at them from like an upshot. They'll jump, they'll go past the screen, you'll hear a splash, and then cut to them into the water, right? The problem is with the pacing issues that sometimes a few events are happening and there's no, like, it's too much has jumped, right? It's just like, wait, when the fuck did that happen? Right? I don't understand how we got to this transition. That's more prominent towards episode 6 than it is at the start of the show, but it's quite discouraging.
Wait, was this the one that had the weirdly drawn dogs, or was that one of the 3 you've already dropped?
No. That was one of the ones, like, fucking threw that away. That was the
the
banished former hero. No.
Right.
Dude, I didn't get past one episode of that. This is the one where the prince ascends the tower and then basically convinces a witch to live with him for a year in order to But, like, there is obviously a lot of background that's written to the characters, but the show does not know how to pace delivery, right? So we got a lot of exposition dump about her in the last half of episode 6, right? So we got nothing from episode 2 to 5, right, inclusive, and then all of a sudden episode 6 we actually get a decent exposition. And then likewise there are characters or villain-esque characters that attempt to do things, but you have no clear understanding of their motivation of why they're doing stuff. The show does not do well in a weekly format. It may do better on like a bingeable platform and things, but in all honesty, it is. You know, a lot of people said to me, like, they thought that it was bland. I think, Thaylien, were you one of the people that said that it felt bland? It may have been Loz.
You're probably lost because I'm not watching any of the shows you are.
There you go.
Well,
So,
not these ones, anyway.
yeah, so, you know, I think other people have certainly said to me that, like, it's felt bland from episode 1, and to be honest, episode 1 just felt so unique and intriguing to me. But yeah, no,
But even then, you
unfortunately,
gave it an acquired taste 1 star, which is not
yes,
great.
So that, no, it's not great, but there was still room for potential.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know, like if we look back at Train to the End of the World, the second episode was hot garbage, right? But the third episode brought it back up. Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night. The first 2 episodes were great, but the third episode was like, oh, is this going into danger territory? This just basically could have been like, oh, it had room to grow. It did have room to grow. It just didn't, right? As a result, it's really fallen flat. This is one of the shows that I am dropping, unfortunately. Very well animated, very well voice acted. Just the plot is just nonsensical, waste of time, and I'd rather just watch something else.
Fair enough.
Cool.
In the audience, that wasn't
Thaylien?
your phone going off. Don't worry.
That was mine. Sorry. Yeah. Always my fucking phone.
So, for my next one, I'm going to go with one of the ones that's gone up. Okay? I'm going to go with Dragon Raja, The Blazing Dawn. And this was previously an acquired taste 4 star. It's gone up by 1 star to an acquired taste 5 star. So, the thing about this show, as I mentioned previously, I was worried that he was going to go full power fantasy once our guy got from where he was to Hogwarts for dragon slaying, and then gave him a full suite of super powerful functions. But it hasn't. You know, he's getting dark dreams and hints at what things might be, and he's been given 1 power that he has to use a little bit carefully because it's, you know, possibly dangerous in some way, is hinted at. And the main focus has been about discovering what this school actually does. It takes some time out to show an actual mission that these students and one of their teachers are running out in the world to discover an ancient temple to one of the dragon emperors, I think it's called.
And based on those suits, they do them
artifact.
in giant humanoid mechas.
No,
Human.
those are just
space
for
mechas.
those are like basic danger suits kind of thing.
Oh.
So they send 2 students down under the ocean into the depths to find a flooded city with a temple, and there's a whole lot of mysticism as they try to open it up. When they go exploring, you get a bit of drama from going down into this place, and suddenly they activate some kind of trap, and the whole place starts shifting around and they can't see the exit. And the school calls up all the A rank students and above, which includes our guy because he's been given the S rank. Not sure why. Nobody knows why he's been given the S rank. He doesn't seem all that powerful. And they all go and they have to decipher the dragon language that they've taken pictures of and sent back to the school in order to figure out the map of the place and figure out how to get them out. But the one ability our guy has comes from the video game I mentioned in the last one, the very first video game he's playing. Okay, his dreams ask him, if you could pick one ability from that, which one would it be? And he picks the ability to reveal the map.
Oh my god!
Which directly applies to this, and comes in. But the thing is, this is the thing. He does it. He uses it, and the computer updates with the map of the thing, shows how the routes are changing, and it even credits him solved by our guy here. And everybody turns to look at him as he falls out of his chair in surprise. But because he doesn't believe it worked, he has no clue what's going on. So the other 2 students have to try and escape using his plan, and it looks like they do. Everybody's celebrating, but this isn't that kind of show, it seems, because something worse happens. Okay, we get a view of what the actual show is going to be more about from this because it doesn't go the way you expect. Do you have a question?
So yeah, so if memory serves, like the first instance where he's playing a game, it's like basically it's an RTS, it's StarCraft effectively, and I just like my exclamation of "Oh my god!" I just want to say how powerful a play that is to be able to reveal the map, right? It's like to know where your opponent is just like holy shit, this is absolutely incredible.
Yes.
To know where your allies are that's lost in a maze, to know the structure of a maze, like that to me is actually a really clever like plot device.
Yes,
that
choice.
Yeah, it's like it's very powerful, but it's not too powerful because
it's not offensively powerful. Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
You both.
It's tactical.
Yeah. It's very tactical, you know, and I like that a lot.
Whereas most characters are out here getting overpowered abilities to destroy things, he just gets a very situational overpowered ability, which is like, it's a nice twist.
So, a great twist, I think, has been so far that there is the way they find out what their powers are is they listen to the voice of the Black Dragon Emperor, and it resonates with them, right?
Right.
And the only people that don't are pure humans. You know, anybody with actual dragon abilities will hear this voice and resonate with it and start to discover their powers. He doesn't discover anything. He can't hear. He hears it and doesn't hear it. Doesn't understand anything.
But he's also not a pure human.
No, they've given him an S rank, and his parents were in this school, so he does have the dragon blood.
Interesting.
Right?
But he just doesn't hear the Dragon Emperor.
Well, he doesn't get power from it. He doesn't resonate with it. So immediately, his sensei goes running off to go researching and finds that there's actually a counterpart dragon, a white dragon emperor.
Right.
And he could be who does not bow to the Black Dragon Emperor. And so, of course, if he's of that bloodline, he wouldn't. But our main character doesn't know that. Our main character just thinks that he's useless.
Right.
So the voice in his dream that asked him what ability he would want, that was probably the white dragon.
Yes. Exactly.
Right.
We think so. Yes.
Interesting.
Okay. This is really interesting.
I'm actually I'm kind of tempted by this one.
Yeah.
Wait, so is this an isekai or a reincarnation, or is it just straight fantasy?
Straight fantasy.
Straight fantasy. Holy crap.
Modern setting fantasy where everybody has, they've got some sci-fi elements to it as well. With like the ship they're out on is actually a hover carrier, like the one from the Marvel universe.
A helicarrier.
Yeah, similar to that. So yeah, there is some. This is actually getting better as it goes, which is impressive to me. Yeah,
right,
that's me. Move on.
Let's move on.
It's me, isn't it? Let's take Train to the End of the World, since you mentioned that one not long ago. Did I? I did. Okay. So for me, this at the last season or last season, I'll say it's an acquired taste 4-star. Which is no change at all. It was an acquired taste 4-star, the 3-episode mark, still an acquired taste 4-star. Not a huge amount of growth, but I really find the little stories and the world to be interesting. Episode 4 instantly raises the stakes from the first 3 episodes, with Akira, the little black-haired girl, the goth one. She had some mushrooms growing on her that she didn't tell anyone about, and they end up removing them. They find out about them and remove them, and it makes her brain go all wrong. And in the process of trying to fix that, they get stuck in a Gulliver's Travel situation. And it also kind of brings back the idea, the 7G hypothesis from before. That it affects the way your perception affects the world or your place in the world. And so that idea kind of comes back. I'm sure that won't come into play at all later. No, not at all foreshadowing. there's a lot of alien and interesting and alien ideas that unfortunately they don't have time to explore all of them. Like we see them going along and they're going through a bunch of different environments. They don't stop to actually explore any of them. That sucks a little bit, but the ones they do explore are so cool that I don't really mind. Episode 5, made for kids, but has a scene of like really violent non-consensual brain surgery.
Talk about a splitting headache.
Yeah. And again, the Gulliver's Travel one, I just wrote down Kaiju Schoolgirls, because holy crap, that's exactly what it is. It's hilarious. There's a lot of teenage drama moments that like where they fight and then they immediately get over it, but that kind of feels accurate for teenagers of this age. There's also genuine moments of deeper character interaction. Like Raimi. Raimi is the girl who's always like really happy and the peacemaker and wants everyone to get along. But when she gets kind of angry or worried or whatever, it really like it makes everyone else react like, oh my god, your face is so scary right now. We're not used to seeing that look. And I find that to be, again, another thing that's really true to life. I don't really remember episode 6 for some reason.
I'm not sure why. I was gonna say, have you seen episode 7 as well?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, oh yes, the zombies. Yeah, the zombies. Yeah. I think that was the problem. I accidentally watched episode 7 before episode 6, and I got really confused because I hadn't downloaded it. I hadn't watched it yet. I thought I had it, and I thought I was watching them in order, and I didn't realize I'd skipped one. But yeah, the whole zombie subplot was also really interesting. And that was one of those moments where they had a fight that they didn't instantly get over in, a couple of lines, which was nice to see.
I think one of the most pleasing things for Train to the End of the World is the way that the characters interact with each other, like how they talk. It feels a lot more natural as opposed to very scripted. Like, you've got them talking over each other, you got them, but see it from their point of view. You got characters that are talking to each other and they are of a higher brow intelligence and they understand each other, whereas the Garu girl is just like, what the fuck are they saying? They're saying nonsense. Stop saying nonsense. Say things I understand.
And it's still very clearly a coming. Sorry, go ahead. No, you had more to say. Go ahead.
No. It's. I think it's really respectable for shows to do that. Is to, portray different styles of engagement, which so few shows do. Everyone does this very limited view of person A speaks, reverse shot, person B speaks, reverse shot again, person A speaks. The way that this handles it is really great. And even though that there is, similar to Fable, there is a running gag that constantly happens every episode.
Oh, with them talking to the conductor?
Yeah, it doesn't get old because it is, they know how to escalate it and things.
The art is great. I don't think I've ever seen a bad shot in this. Something else I was gonna say. Oh, so the characters are very archetypal, right? I don't think there's been a massive amount of character growth so far, but I think
there's been enough, but not a massive.
There's been enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And yeah, it's honestly just a really wholesome coming of age story with the backdrop of almost a fairy tale sort of setting. They're just going through all these weird fairy tale worlds and dark fairy tales, not Disney fairy tales, actual dark, disturbing fairy tales.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Cool. Can we move on?
Yeah.
Right. Why not?
I am gonna go for the Misfit of Demon King Academy. Because why the F not? If I can find, there it is, right, okay. What did I give it last time? Acquired taste 1 star. I think this has gone up a little bit. I would say that this is an acquired taste 3 star. The plot has really jumped it up a notch, and the dependency of knowing the events of the prior core has kind of subsided. So, like, you know, it's kind of brought it back into the wheelhouse of what's happening this core. I very much enjoy, like, the whole powerhouse that is
Anos
Voldegold. You know, I love the fact that he is still referenced to being only 6 months old. You know, he is still just a 6-month-old, and even though he has the body of a 16-17-year-old,
and the brain of a demon lord who's God knows how old,
who is super intelligent things.
Yeah.
I love the events of how these 6 episodes play out, because we had a character in the first core of season 1 who had kind of a minor role, and they've persisted to have a minor role up until this core, and they have had an excellent comeback, right? And I'm actually really happy with it. I don't think that this is a show that really should be watched like week on week. I think this should be binged, because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of let this one build up. I watched episodes 4, 5, 6 in one sitting, because I find it's easier I think it's more enjoyable to do that with the Misfit of Demon King Academy. Animation wise, brilliant. The bullshittery is still top notch, right? You know, so a lot of people enjoy characters that are overpowered. They like it when they see a character
without
like
being self-inserts.
No. A lot of people like self-insert characters like Kirito and things like that, who are OP as fuck, or to a lesser extent, non-self-insert characters like Goku, who are just OP as fuck, right? But I like the characters that say, fuck logic, I do what I want. Right?
And yet you hate Sid Kagano. I don't.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't hate logic. He's just stupid, right? Right? There's a difference.
Illogical.
Yeah,
There's a difference between right logic and illogic.
Having only watched the first season, I think one of my favorite bits was actually the way that, yes, he's overpowered and can do whatever he wants, but like he also wants to make other people around him stronger as well. Like he doesn't want to be the only one who's this stupidly strong. Mm-hmm. I like that about it. Yeah. I did like that.
You know, and this is one of the huge positives, is the fact that he is trying to do things for the benefit of the world, not just himself, not just because he wants to have fun. He wants to make the world a better place. You know. So
you mentioned that one of the minor characters is getting a bigger role over the time. Has any character yet really done something meaningful to the plot that hasn't been for Anos? You know, from his harem of groupies and things, has any one of them actually done a standout thing that wasn't just specifically for Anos?
Yes. I mean, it'd be a little weird because he's the main character, but
not this core, but core 1. So prior core, season. I mean, to be fair, it's not really spoilers, but it's one of the characters. Her dad, right? You know, her dad basically does things for her, not for Anos's benefit. Like, you know, Anos, it's sort of like if it benefits Anos, then it's kind of like a side thing. But, you know, he went against Anos. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that was my biggest gripe with the thing, was that even though he's making them more powerful, they're not actually doing things independently.
Yeah.
It's all, on him.
I see what you mean. So, like, it's still interwoven with him. Yes, no, that's they're all interwoven into the main plot line. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of prefer it that way. I've watched too many shows akin to my favorite one to pick on from the West is Game of Thrones, where like, they're off doing this thing, they're off doing this thing, they're off one of my favorite things is, I think it's season 3 or 4 of Game of Thrones, where Arya Stark is just on a horseback the entire fucking season. Every episode we have to have some moment with Arya, and it's just like, apparently the book was, at the start she left to go on a journey, at the end of the book they arrived, and she never made another appearance in the entire thing. And like,
I'm not so much thinking of that. I'm thinking that let's take something simple like One Piece. All the characters have hitched their cart to Luffy to get him to tow them along, but each one of them does have independent goals. So he wants to be king of the pirates, but Zoro wants to be the best swordsman, Sanji wants to be the best cook, Nami wants to be the best navigator and get rich at the same time.
Whereas you're saying in this, everyone wants to do their thing for
whatever
Anos
does
specifically.
Yeah, whereas this is something Anos wants to do, and everybody's contributing to it.
For the most part, yeah. I think there are very, very few characters that don't contribute to it.
Well, but as I remember, they kind of had their own goals, and then he either found ways to fulfill them or supersede them with something even better.
Yeah, but then they just live for him afterwards.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a bad thing if their goals have been satisfied. That they then go like, oh yes, now I'll come up with this new goal of helping the person who helped me, essentially.
Anyway, this is going on a little long, so should we move on to...
Yeah.
I've got a nice short one.
Topic idea, whether we should, whether it's good to have characters that live for the main scene. Anyway.
Well.
Yeah. So, Bartender, Glass of God. This has gone up in my estimations. It was an acquired taste 4-star, it's now an acquired taste 5.
Bloody hell.
Yes. So this has gone up because they have, as I said, this is a quiet one. It is built around, so it's not the kind of thing that Nasuth would go into straight away. So it's staying as an acquired taste. But they have upped the plotline quality. Each episode is bringing in a problem that can be solved by expressing things a different way. And they frame it around the bartending, around the drinks. So a guy that's really stressed at work, he's taking the fall for some of the things his employees did wrong, coming in and getting, trying to get a drink, but meeting somebody else who is, smoking a cigar. She's smoking a cigar, and he's just quit smoking, which is adding to his stress.
Oh.
So they get into an argument, and he, in a childish fit of rage, gets up, snaps the cigar in half, and slams down some money on the table and says, "There, I should pay for it," and walks out. And over the course of the episode, not directly connected, you come back to him like night after night, turning back up at the bar to find out, hang on, I've actually got to apologise because I acted really childishly.
Oh, but she's not there for him to apologise to, right?
No.
Is the idea?
And the first time he comes back, our bartender invites him to come stand behind the bar and just thinks out loud as a bartender. To frame it, because a bartender's not supposed to tell his clients' stories to other clients.
Right.
So he thinks out. So he says he describes the story of a doctor that's, oversaw a birth, and so was handed a really nice pack of cigars to smoke. But because the baby wasn't quite healthy, the doctor worked really hard to try and keep it going, and when they promised her to smoke the cigars once the baby was recovered. And you immediately start thinking, oh, okay, they were smoking the cigar. That's great. So it's been 6 months. And I said, unfortunately, the baby didn't survive. so it didn't seem right to smoke the cigars. So what they were doing, they lit the cigar and were letting it burn without taking a single puff. And it was a tribute to the child.
Interesting.
And our guy, our business executive goes, "That was her, wasn't it?" "Oh, I'm not really supposed to say." And so he spends the entire time waiting for her to come back to the bar. And when she does, you know, it's a nice little thing where you have an interaction, and you see, you know, the flipping of the perspective and seeing somebody else's story actually makes this guy better. And by the end of the episode, in these little just unconnected scenes around the main plot line, it turns, you know, this female doctor is going to be posted to another hospital 2 hours away. So he's saying she'll have to find another bar. But as she's going to go, he says, if you wouldn't be too annoying, do you think we could go out for dinner sometime? And she says yes. And there's a lovely little relationship that blooms there throughout the whole episode. It's slow, but every problem is framed in this way of learning about drinks. You know, another guy has as a bartender working for one of the other bars, is really, really uptight and doesn't deal well with customers. So the businesswomen that are trying to recruit our bartender and a couple of other new bartenders we've been introduced to go out to one of the famous distilleries to talk about the whiskey. And they go through the whole process and talk about it. And this guy's standoffish until they finally go to talk about the water. It's famous in that region. And he sees some good luck charms. And he pulls out of his pocket this charm and says, "Oh, is this a talisman as well?" And then you find out all about his backstory of having lived in Japan briefly and met a girl that he fell in love with, and it didn't go right. He wasn't able to be with her, and he's regretted it the entire time. And it's only by going on this little journey that he was able to open up about it and discover, you know, some of his actual feelings, that it just kind of shook him loose and unfroze his attitude towards people. And so he went back to work happier and able to deal with customers more. And it's really trying to phrase all of these problems and see them from this perspective, but it's all just based around being a bartender. So I'm really enjoying how this is expanding on this little world they've created.
So the bartending is
Also
really
an
just
alcoholic, so
the bartending is really more of just a vehicle to tell these other little stories, you would say.
yes, it has been so far. But there is an overarching storyline, and I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Interesting.
All right, cool. All right. I guess I will take Spice and Wolf. We're starting to get into my the best of the best, the cream of the crop. So this was an acquired taste 4-star at the 3-episode mark. It is now acquired taste 5-star, in my opinion. It's like I said, it's another one that I've watched at a higher speed. It might spoil. Do we need to pause?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
Sorry, nobody heard that.
Sorry, my glass was in my blind spot and I accidentally smacked it. Luckily, it had nothing in it.
Good. Yeah, might spoil some of the drama. Because like this half is this 3-episode bit is really heavy on the intrigue and the drama, and I'm totally down for this. I still don't really like Hollow's more bratty moments, but we saw less of those this time, and it was really balanced out by the increased intrigue, like I said, and the more character development, like the moments when she's really like sort of sad or contemplative. Man, those were so good, just like so amazing to see. Negotiations have never been more exciting. And it's kind of true. I put down that's a lie, but it's not really a lie. It is kind of true. I don't want to say why negotiations have never been more exciting, because it's a spoiler. You should go watch this. The best slice of life, Would you call this a slice of life? It kind of is.
No.
It's more road trip.
Yeah, so like I kind of get what you're saying about being a slice of life.
Merchant.
But but the thing is, it's not really though, because this is a traveling merchant, right? Realistically, if
and it's bigger than just that, because you've got the whole church thing and the competing companies and
right, the whole thing between the pagan side of things and the sort of like the Catholicism, the Christianity side of things.
Church.
Yeah, sure. That's what they call it. So yeah, again, like that's a huge part of it, which I don't think you would necessarily see in terms of a slice of life. Yeah. Realistically, if it's a slice of life, I would see them very stationary in a home environment, which they do not have.
I don't necessarily agree that a slice of life has to be stationary, but I get what you're saying.
Because this is their life.
Yeah, this is exactly. It's the life of it's a slice of life of a traveling merchant. But you've got all these other things that are going on that keep it from just being a slice of life, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, because there is this bigger story that they're getting involved in.
Is a good combo.
Yeah. I mean, it was crowned, it was heralded as like the first economic based anime when it originally came out all those years ago. I don't know if that's true because there's isekais that before the term isekai. So, but regardless, it was one of the defining moments. One thing I will say though is they've really done up the narrative telling of the series, because certain events in like episodes 4 through 7, 6. I think we've had 7.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think I've watched 7, but yeah, we have.
Okay, fine. 4 through 6. They played out different in the original series. There was a time skip. There was just like a pure cut and things like that. Actually seeing it properly flushed out in this was fantastic, right? So
again, don't want to give it away, but holy crap!
Yeah. So it's absolutely gorgeous.
I don't know. I kind of something feels slightly off about the art to me, and I can't really put my finger on it because the art is really detailed, but it also feels somewhat generic to me, if that makes sense. The running animations during a lot of this last section felt really off, even at normal speed.
Really?
And the action scenes also felt a little awkward to me. It feels much less action, like the artists are much less action oriented, which is fine.
Well,
but if you're gonna have action scenes,
one thing that I will say in terms of this series is that the shading is very minimalist, right? They haven't gone to a massive extent. Like, it feels like a lot of the hair and things is very plain.
True cell shading, isn't it? In the sense.
Well, kind of.
Just look at it here. It's very strict, delineated cell shading.
Yes, but I mean, even now at like nighttime, realistically, he's facing.
Yeah.
He's facing down. His face should be in shadow, right? But it's not, right?
Depends on the angle of the moon at the time, but yes.
But he's facing down, Nasuth. It doesn't matter.
He could not be looking. He might not be looking directly down. He could be looking like slightly up, and then the angle that we're looking at makes it look like he's looking almost straight down.
Also,
even again, look, like
on the horizon,
yes, something like this.
Shining forwards.
A lot of the underground scenes felt wrong. They were trying to give it darker shading, and it just looked weird. And yeah.
So there is certainly something to the shading. I'm fine with it. Like,
this is like a minor complaint compared to everything else.
But like, I mean, I'd love to. I would love to say this is a must-watch, but I don't know if I can.
And Acquired Taste 5 is as high as I can go right now.
Yeah, but I love the whimsy nature of I get what you're saying. Actually, no, I love the performance for Hollow, right? you may not like the
all
characters.
the voice actresses are doing an amazing job.
They are fantastic. So yeah, there you go.
And they did a title drop at the end of episode 6. Just want to note that. It's not really bad per se, but I just want to note they did a title drop at the end of episode 6.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of felt weird because I swear they didn't do that in the original series. So...
Title drops always feel a little weird and awkward to me.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think you should. Even though I can't give this a must watch, I think you should go watch it. I'm not usually into this type of, I don't know, slower paced story, but like I said, the drama and intrigue. First off, the intrigue of the guy they ran into that was giving them the silver coin tips. That caught my attention, and the fact that that's been developed so heavily in this section, like, oh man, I'm totally down for the show now.
That's fair.
And if Nasuth likes it,
question your sanity. Right, so I'm going to move on to Jellyfish can't swim at night. Sorry, yes. Was it Jellyfish can't swim in the night?
Because the Trogdor comes in the night.
No. Right, so last time I gave this an acquired taste 4-star. I don't know. It's 100%. It's 100% an acquired taste. I think it's gonna remain at a 4-star. Yeah, because so one of my biggest concerns about Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night is the whole it potentially turning into a high school drama, right? And I can't be bothered to deal with that, right? That doesn't happen, which is great. But the thing that does happen, which I'm like, I didn't really come here for this, is there appears, like, I kind of feel like this is a little spoilery, but it's kind of important to get this out here. It's one of the genres that is basically not listed anywhere for the show. But effectively, it's... there is some girl love there, right? And like, it's not that I find it negative that no, it's not that I find it negative that there is girl love in there, but it's a case of this is not what I signed up for, right? I signed up for the creativity. I signed up for these people learning what it is to become creators, right?
So even if it wasn't girl love, even if it was a regular, like a straight relationship, you would still kind of feel that betrayal of...
Yeah, actually, no. So one thing that it is actually coming of age story. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Whether or not it's girl love or straight heterosexual, it doesn't really matter. It's the coming out of age part that it kind of undersells really early on, that by episode 6-7 it's just like, oh, there's a lot more to this than just being about creatives. And that's what I absolutely adored about Blue Period, right? I love the whole expressionist side of things, the whole interpretation of art, looking at the different views of this. But it's kind of pseudo pivoting away from the creationist side of things and more to do with the romantic feelings and things. Now, there are certainly elements to the narrative that are just like, wow, this is so cool. I don't want to go into a huge amount of detail, but it is like all the characters have really well defined backstories, right? Characters that they go through emotional roller coasters. Now, some people might go like, oh, I don't really fancy that. I think it's great because where some people may turn around and be really super supportive, it's like, don't worry about this, don't worry about that sort of thing. they too will then go through their own emotional roller coaster. And it's because the other girls have gone like, I've been through something, I know you're going through something, and you're not telling me what the fuck it is. You need to open up, you need to express yourself, because otherwise you're gonna, self-destruct. And I do love it about that.
That happened in another anime that made me love it as well recently this season. Anyway, continue. Sorry, continue.
Is it this season?
It is this season. You know which one it is.
Do I know which one it is? Am I being...
Anyway, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Continue.
Okay, fine, we'll get to it. Yeah, so I am enjoying it. I'm sticking with it for the time being. But I just feel like this could slip either direction. This could either go higher or it could go lower. Right?
So, would you say... I'm sorry to keep interrupting you. I think you're kind of winding down, though.
No, I'm winding down.
Yeah. Would you say that if it weren't for this relationship element that you weren't expecting, it would have gone up? And this is what's keeping it in the same spot? Okay.
Yes.
That's good, though. There's still a lot there to enjoy.
Yeah, so like it could get worse, don't get me wrong. Sorry, it could have gone worse in those 3 episodes. Again, it's nice seeing characters grow. It's nice seeing characters make mistakes. One bit I will tell you is like they work really hard on this one song, and it is hilarious because it is labeled the cursed song, right? And it turns out while they were recording, right, one of the characters' siblings in an adjacent room, drunk off their face, sort of like did a cry out going like, it's like, why won't someone love me? Or something to that effect, right? And it ended up in the final release. And as a result, everyone picked up on it and go like, oh, it's the cursed song! And it's just, yeah. And because they were so tired, they were so exhausted, by the end of it, they released it without re-reviewing it and like, missed it. So again, it's yeah. So I do enjoy it, but I'm more here for the creationist side of things. So, next one.
When he says creationist, he doesn't mean that kind of creationist.
Sorry, yeah, I creative. Sorry, weird brain. Okay.
Another one's had a nice little uptick. This is the Irregular at Magic High, and this has gone up from an Acquired Taste 4-star up to an Acquired Taste 5. So, I am really enjoying this one still. So I've liked the show anyway from the start. It started off as one of my little guilty pleasure ones because I didn't really think it was that great, but I still enjoyed it. And as this season's progressed, we're getting more and more into this balance between these are school kids going through school in magical school and the political intrigue that's underlying everything, and you cut from this show to the current events to some other scene that's going to happen shortly. It's like previewing this other scene that we know is going to happen in like film grain textures. That's hinting at whatever's going to happen now is going to lead up to that, and it's going to make a big change in their lives. So there's this combination of the now, the political now, and then these hints at the future that really seem to be balancing this off. I like where the build up so far to the thing we had in the very first season, which is the 3 schools competition, where they're going to have to compete against each other, but there's going to be some interference where they've changed the event lineup to make it more military, and so they're having to switch out who their competitors are and find people who are good at each of the new sports, only a few months in advance, and you can see they're like all thinking about how this is going to build up to this final event that's supposed to be one, but they won't be able to have all of the audience watching them. It'll only be through cameras, so there'll be lots of room for people to mess about and interfere with the event. There's a secret project that this gentleman's on, along with a few others, creating almost artificial people, and that seems to be something that's planned to interfere. And we're waiting for these next 4 episodes where it's all going to go bang before the finale kicks in for the end of the season. And I think it's going to be a lot of action and a lot of comeuppance for these political maneuverings, but it's not there yet. So depending on how this plays out, it could go up or it could go back down again. Right now the tension's quite high.
So I've actually stopped watching this because I think I'd rather watch it all in one go than try and watch it week on week. This is very much a series that is like, it's better binged. I find it very interesting that, again, they've tied it back to similar events from season 1, because from what Thaylien's describing, the events of season 1 are like, surfing or archery. I can't remember half the events.
The events that from the first one that they excelled in were the battle boarding, the speed shooting, and I think what they called the Mirage. No, the Mirage bat, which is where they had to leap high and hit coloured lights.
Right.
And considering that they blew the competition out of the water in 2 of those, one by inventing flying magic.
Yeah.
They've decided to retire those and replace them with more combat oriented. So there's a versus shooting now, where you have to. I think there's a proper target shooting competition, almost like a military training exercise. A shield battle where they're going to be in a ring playing sumo, but with large shields.
Right.
And then a cross-country marathon type of thing, where the team has to go across country overcoming obstacles and the other teams. And that's the one everyone's worried about, because it's not going to be properly observed.
So this is really interesting that, so from the sounds of it, the events of the previous year's games have actually massively impacted what games will be played in this competition. That's actually quite good,
yes,
in my opinion.
But it's under the surface is also political maneuvering, because the actual reason for the change is that the military are trying to push for more mages in the military, turn them into assets, while the rest of them are trying to keep them as the elites, and the general populace is pushing to have no mages at all, because it's creating this 2-tier system.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of politics going on under the surface, which I can't say I dislike. It's actually great to see more context in these shows.
Alright, should we move on?
Alright. Let's do Go-Go Loser Ranger, which unfortunately did not air at a 6th episode because they decided to skip a week. So my rating will be conditional.
Golf.
Jolf. I don't know where I picked up Jolf, but there you go. It's probably because GIF is the proper pronunciation is GIF or something. I don't know. Right. So did I reset the? No, I'm just doing it. So again, hard to rate because only 5 episodes, but I'm going to keep it currently at an acquired taste 4-star. It's not amazing, but I don't feel like there are too many. Xeno has more problems with it than I do, I think. One of the problems is his escape from the explosion is barely explained, which annoys me quite a bit. But then they also bring in the pink-haired guy's backstory. I mean, his name's Hibiki. His backstory, which is kind of unexpected, And the switcheroo situation is handled pretty well. There's a whole fight that goes along with it that helps distract what's going on. The story is still introducing characters at episode 5, which is not great, but it's also kind of okay given that all that we've already seen. You know, they've already done a lot of the action-oriented stuff early on, so now it's kind of okay. I don't know if it's getting 2 cores. If this is getting 2 cores, it's better than if it's only getting the 1 core. But also it lends to this kind of unfocused feeling where now we're entering a new arc where he's actually impersonating somebody, and he's infiltrated the training program essentially as one of the low rank independent rangers who can eventually get recruited by one of the 5 bigger actual colored schools. And they've also introduced like another fighter who's apparently been on Earth on the surface for the whole 13 years, but has like been hidden somehow and is trapped in his closet. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. I honestly don't have a lot to say about it because there were only the 2 episodes, and a lot of it was just setting up this whole him getting into the Ranger program, and we haven't really done much with that yet. Episode 6 might, but couldn't say. We now know that Hibiki's sister is one of the Rangers. They're not Rangers, they're Dragon Keepers, but I'm going to call them Rangers anyway. And I think we know a little bit more. No, we don't know any more about the blonde-haired girl, do we?
No.
They didn't do anything else with her, really, aside from show that she's one of the retainers. She's one of like the second in commands, essentially.
To the Yellow Ranger.
To the Yellow Ranger, yeah. And that's really... Oh, they've also introduced the idea of there's some kind of creature that's calling itself God that just went and killed a bunch of its followers. I don't understand. It looks like it's one of the bad guys, but I think it might actually be the one that gave the Dragon Keepers their weapons. Maybe?
I don't know. I feel it is just one of the Villain of the Week monsters prior to the defeat of the enemies, and all that's been left behind are the putty men. Right.
Maybe, but I thought they got defeated like day 1.
I don't know if it was day 1, but remember this was like I don't know how many years, was it like 15 years prior or something?
13 years, I think. Yeah,
so like, this is like right at the beginning of when they invaded. So I would not be surprised.
Well, yeah, the time's a bit weird because like we see them invading, and then we don't know how much time between then and the church incident. So that's another, I guess, problem is that the timeline's very sketchy currently.
So to add my 2 cents to this, in all honesty, this is dropped to so what did you give it?
4-star.
4-star acquired taste?
Yeah.
Oh, why have I put 1 star? Sorry, a 4-star acquired taste. I personally would give this a 1-star acquired taste. Because there is no narrative substance to this series whatsoever. It is just event. There's like, what the fuck is going on? There is what is the motivation of any character? There is no motivation given for any of the characters apart from Hibiki, who has basically now been written out of the picture, right?
For now,
at least. And that's really frustrating to me. Like
I mean, I would say we also know D's motivations to an extent, and we know the trapped the other fighters' motivations essentially are, she's just angry. She's just super angry. But you're right that we don't really know anyone else's. We don't really know why the blonde-haired girl's doing all this. We know the Ranger's motivation or the Keeper's motivations. They just want to, have an easy life making money. But like, why is his older sister telling him, Hibiki's older sister telling him like, don't do this. This is bad.
Why is his older sister pretending to be a cripple?
See, I think she is a cripple when she's not using her Dragon Keeper power, when she's not using the Divine Artifact. I think that's her motivation to be a Keeper, is that the artifact gives her legs back.
So why doesn't she No, because she got like super fucking horny over the fact that she ends up kicking some guy's ass. Right?
In her Dragon Keeper form, yes.
Yeah, why doesn't she just turn up to her brother as the Dragon Keeper? What's the big deal behind keeping it a secret? Like,
I don't
who
know
the fuck cares?
Is it a secret?
Well, if it was...
They don't really explain.
Like,
I mean, it may not be a secret to the real Hibiki, but to fake Hibiki, obviously, he doesn't know shit because he broke the laptop.
But like, and this is the biggest part of the problem I have with this entire series, and like, I am so close to just dropping it, is the fact that they are determined to keep their audience in the dark. And they're doing it with such lazy narrative devices. Like, I could fucking tell you that, the Pink Ranger was his sister the second I fucking saw her in the flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Same hairstyle. Lazy. Fucking lazy. Right? And I do feel very passionate about this, because this series had such potential. I don't know if this is just a failing of the adaptation.
I wouldn't call that
again,
a lazy mystery, because that's giving you a clue, right? Like a blatant clue, right? That's the same person. That's foreshadowing. It may be lazy foreshadowing, but so something like him breaking the laptop, that is lazy mystery, right? Because that is an essential tool for him knowing what's going on, and he just kind of breaks it because it's making a noise,
But that's part of the point, though, right? And then again, like, what was the foreshadowing that Hibiki had to swap places with Fighter D, right? Because he just found him out in the fucking field, trying to hide. Like, when did you put this laptop together?
Good point. I mean, we don't... Again, the timeline. We don't know how much time passed between the explosion and him going out to search for him. We know it must have been at least I think it was the next day. We saw him analyzing the footage and being like, it must be the explosion. And so he came to the same conclusion that the Keepers came to, that if you followed the wind patterns, he would be in X area. So if there was enough time, he could have analyzed the footage, put the stuff together, and stashed it in his room, and then gone out to search for him. I don't mind that so much. How much time
do you fucking have? Like 2-3 weeks?
Why would you need 2 or 3 weeks?
Dude, it takes a fucking long ass time to write up any form of documentation for anything, right? The only way to fucking do it any form of pace is to do videos, right? Like, you have to explain who all these different people are in your life. Oh yeah, this is Bob. Bob is blah 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 blah.
Probably just linked to a bunch of personnel files.
Like, the only thing I could understand and appreciate was if he had actually written that not for D, but for the fighter that's in his cupboard, right? But his fighter is not. The fighter in his cupboard is not allowed to leave the cupboard. What the fuck is it? I don't fucking.
Yeah, I want some of these questions answered. The fact that they didn't really explain how he survived the explosion, does not give me hope that they will explain all this stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that the worst of it is the fact that next episode we're not going to get any form of explanations. We're just going to have event again. And like, you need to describe what's going on in the world. You can't just keep throwing events at me. That's why Call of Duty Modern Warfare sucks ass. Anyway,
before we move on to the next one, Nasuth, I do have a question I do want answered that's completely unconnected with anything else. Can you just wave at Xeno quickly? No, other hand. Wave it towards Xeno. Further.
It's about as,
all the way over.
it's about
Because
as
I
good as
think
I
you're
can...
breaking the fourth wall.
yeah, I just
I'm fairly
noticed your
sure.
hand
just
goes out of the box. Reach out the box. Yeah.
Weird.
That's creepy.
Anyway.
I'll have to fix that.
Anyway.
So let's move on. What's our next one?
Oh my god. That. Oh, and also I looked it up. It's only got one core.
Oh, boo!
Nasuth then changes his score.
Acquired taste, 2-star.
Right. I think we've only got 2 left each.
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna go for studio apartment, good lighting, angel included. I think. What did I give it last time? Studio apartment goes nothing special, 4-star. Getting a nothing special, 1-star. It's okay. It just doesn't really do anything, which is kind of expected for a slice of life. But it's
Doesn't make
8
it acceptable.
episodes in. It's 8 episodes in, and it's still introducing fucking characters. And it's just like, come on, you gotta draw a line somewhere in the fucking sand.
Wait, 8
man.
episodes? Oh, because it started earlier than some of the other shows.
Yes, yeah, it was one of the
Right,
first
okay.
shows to start. I only watched 6 because I just got bored. The will they won't they relationship between our angel and our dumb as shit male protagonist, it's not the most entertaining. The animation is, I think, a lot of it spent on the detailing of the angel's hair, which is at the detriment of the rest of the show. Like this character above me, her, so like the child, no, not the child, the school crush, right? So not the school crush. She has a crush on him, right? So I don't know what the correct label is for that, but she's just annoying. It's just like, come on, be more, right? Yeah, so it's not particularly awful, but I am dropping this only because it's nothing special and amazing. Nothing really particularly happens in the 3 episodes, but at the same time, like so a lot of the time, like Nasuth, help me out here with Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. You're not the biggest fan of it, right? But you still respect it, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel anything happens in Kobayashi's Dragon Maid?
Oh, for sure.
Right, so stuff actually happens.
I mean, the only thing that I really remember, there's the dude that tries to attack Kobayashi, and who probably gets his ass handed to him. And there's the whole thing with her father coming. Those are the only 2 major events that I really remember.
By dude, are you using it interchangeably and you mean Elma?
Wasn't there somebody else that tried to come after Kobayashi?
A Lulu, but that's in second.
No. I swear there was an actual guy who
It's
tried.
Fafnir that turns up, but
No.
Fafnir doesn't fight a guy?
Yeah. I don't
It's gonna be
remember
like
the
such a
circumstances. It's only something that happens for like an episode. It's not like an ongoing plot thread, I don't think.
Anyway, but you feel stuff happens, right?
Stuff still happens. I mean, like they go out and they have fun. You know, they meet new characters. Yeah. Those characters have actual interactions and story elements, and you know.
Yeah. Right. I too feel that those characters do stuff. In this series, they don't do stuff. it's like, oh no. So yeah, that's honestly a large reason why I'm dropping this one. Mostly in favor to pick up something else.
Oh, fair enough.
Cool.
Which will be Dragon Ball.
Nice short review though.
Yep.
So
go on, Thaylien.
I'm going to move on to my second to last, which is the biggest jump in score for me: An Archdemon's Dilemma: How to Love Your Elf Bride. Last time I gave it a nothing special 4-star because I wasn't sure how successful it was going to be.
I'm trying to find it. Oh, that one. There we go.
Sorry. Yeah.
There you go. Found it.
And so I gave it a nothing special 4 because I wasn't sure where it's going to go, whether I'd actually like where it went. This is now an Acquired Taste 3.
Yeah, boy!
Yes, because I was very impressed with the turnaround it did from episode 4 on, in terms of the uptick it went from episode 4 on.
Yeah.
The explanation, a little bit of explanation of backstory of what the Archdemons are, came in. The reveal of what had been happening since episode 1 with his hidden enemy. And the progression of the relationship between him and his elf has been, I want to say relatable, but I'm not quite that much of a shut-in.
I will caveat, there was one dumbass moment which was just like, oh, this is put in a stupid cliffhanger and I hate it. Which I think was the end of 4. And carries on to the end of 5, I think.
Kind of.
It doesn't get resolved until 6, but like, it's a really good resolve. But the problem is that the motivation behind certain actions is just not there until 6. Yeah. So it like, I know it pissed off Loz. It pissed off Loz in a massive way. And I'm like, oh, don't worry. It's going to be a stupid-ass motivation as to why X event happened. And sure enough, it was. It was stupid as hell. But it gets resolved, and I'm happy with it.
What I like is the growth in some of the side... particularly one of the side characters, where the events of episodes 5 and 6 influence them strongly enough that they actually move away from the people they trust and take their own direction in life because of it. And we see the start of episodes at the end of episode 6, where like everybody else around them says, "No, you can't do this. This is you're turning your back on us." But they stay strong and say, "No, this is what I actually believe, and so I'm going to take the consequences of it." And it's a great change in a character that you think would be more generic because of the way they've been introduced. So I did like that, and of course I did like the little cutesy moments as well. Honestly, the simple fact that this poor guy got a hug for the first time in so many years, that he wasn't expecting, that you get some validation from one character to another where they say, no, you're actually worth it, or no, I actually feel this way. And whether that's from the friends that the side characters become friends with the elf, or other situations in there, it's cute. As I say, it's not the best show in the season, but it's, from where it started, it's taken a massive upswing. This is the biggest upswing of my reviews, and it's deserved.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's not as good as some of the other shows on here. I'm liking the others more, but I'm definitely going to be finishing this one out because I really want to see where this is going, and I love the cuteness of these characters.
I concur. I think it's adorable. I think it's really well paced. I much prefer this than Newgate or the level 2 cheat skill. I can't bloody remember what the fuck it's called. You know, I'm happy to have stuck this one out. And again, like, I think I was saying this to Nasuth last night. I'm surprised how much they are fitting into a single episode. Like,
Yes.
So I watched the 8th episode. I'm like, Jesus Christ, is this still the same episode? Yes. That is something that I can certainly say is not the case for a lot of this season. Yeah.
So I was impressed that they told quite a bit more of this guy's backstory, but as seen from the outside, and it sets up the return for the hidden villain.
Yeah.
Of this first arc.
Yeah.
I love the way it actually plays into that there were hints of it the entire time.
Yeah.
As a mention of, because in the first episodes, you see that he kills his first master to acquire his knowledge.
Yeah.
Because his master is a cruel person who's going to sacrifice him. And in that scene, you see him hold up his hand, and it's got the sigil carved on his palm in blood.
And you eventually find out why.
That isn't,
yeah.
Yeah, it isn't mentioned, and you find out why later on. That's a great thing, to have continuity between the first episode and something that other people are impressed with and bring up in the later episodes.
Yeah, Windbreaker. Who the fuck are the pink-haired guy and the orange afro guy? Huh? Huh?
No, we need to spend 4 or 5 episodes on a tournament.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Right.
Much deserved uptick in rating. And
Very
so
cool.
let's move on
Very
from
cool.
this.
Right.
Cool.
So I'm gonna. Oh wait. Yeah. No, it is my turn. I'm not gonna save the best show for last. I'm gonna do it now. We're gonna do KonoSuba season 3, which is clearly the best show of the season. Nice. The first 3 episodes I gave a 5-star must watch, and what do you know? It's still a 100% a 5-star must watch. I don't know what you're doing right now, but if you haven't watched KonoSuba, you should pause this video right now, go watch all 2 seasons and the movie, and all of season 3 that's out, and then come back. No, please wait, please finish watching this episode first. But you know, we got some great things. We got the continuing running gag of Cosmodes. Every time somebody's like, Kazuma! Yes, I'm Kazuma.
Yep.
You can't get called to adventure if you plug your ear hole.
So wait, what? You can't? No. Wait, you can't get called. What?
Can't get called to adventure if you plug your ear holes.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Because he just doesn't want to hear it. They keep trying to get this.
Yep.
They keep trying to get him involved in the plot, and he's just like, no, screw that. I don't want to. Keeps going bad.
I want to have an easy life.
Keeps going bad every time. Most important part of comedy: sitting up in bed screaming in an alarm after an alarm has been going off for a while. I mean, timing. What's the most important comedy? Sitting completely still and silent in front of a goddess after just die again. I mean, timing.
I don't know what you're trying to do here.
Talking about the timing, they have really great comedic timing.
Okay.
There's more fun with magic items. In as much as finally Kazuma has risen to the call of the hero's call, or the call.
He means timing.
I mean timing, and
that.
The call to adventure in this one is apparently there are a bunch of cheat items, right? Everyone who's been reincarnated into this world has been given a cheat item to help them complete their task, right? And one of them is a necklace. We find out a necklace that the princess is wearing. That the princess is wearing that switches people's bodies for a temporary time, right? So it ends up that Cosmo goes into her body and she goes into Cosmo's body for about a
but
day,
we won't
I
go
guess?
into we won't go into any further details about that because you should watch the series.
No. You should definitely go watch the series.
As Nasuth has a coughing fit.
Try to choke on my own
Yeah,
spit.
at least we're all dying quietly.
Don't try to
Timing.
chill on his own spit.
The VA's doing a great
We are
job
ruining this.
changing their speech patterns for that the body swap stuff. So like the princess does a really good job of talking with Kazuma's cadence and everything.
Mannerisms, yeah.
The best part of the fan service is that it almost always gets undercut somehow. I love that because I hate fan service. And do I hear wedding bells?
So I just want to. Okay, so this is really interesting that you bring up fan service because I'm trying to convince a friend. The friend is probably listening to this and he knows who he is, but I'm trying to convince a friend to watch KonoSuba, right? And the problem is they, like you, Nasuth, absolutely detest fan service
and there is a lot of fan service in this. So much fan service.
But the thing is, there's so much fan service in KonoSuba in general.
That's
right?
what I mean. Yeah.
But I feel, and I'd like to get your guys' positions on this. I feel that the fan service serves a juxtaposition to these absolutely awful individuals, right?
Yes.
They are pretty, they are sexually arousing, so on and so forth. However, they are the worst pieces of shit known to mankind, right?
Or when they're not, they're around the worst pieces of shit in all of mankind.
Yeah. And
like
and
Wiz here.
it's
I
just
wouldn't say Wiz is a piece of shit at all. I'd say Wiz is amazing. She's very wholesome. But she spends her time around Cosmo and Vanir, and like,
yeah.
Kazuma, when offered a lap pillow, decides to go face down.
Yep. So,
yes.
And I think that's the really important thing is that even though KonoSuba is just riddled with fan service, and I even Captain, just tunes it out, right?
Mm.
Like, it has to be basically full frontal nudity for me to barely notice it. I notice it in this, right? I notice it when, receptionists lean forward and clearly are not wearing a bra. I notice it when we still don't have an answer to the question of whether or not Aqua is wearing any panties, right?
No.
But,
that was answered. They're invisible. She makes them invisible. Yeah. It's not in the show. It's in the manga. But this came up in an episode of Notice Me Senpai,
right.
And I went and researched it. And yes, she just makes them invisible.
Okay.
Because it would be improper to not wear any, but making them invisible is fine.
Regardless of the whole thing, like the whole point is that even though KonoSuba is one of the most heavy fan service series out there, right?
It's ridiculous.
I feel that just services like an emphasis on how much these characters are just pieces of shit and are like the worst known to all mankind.
Well, again, not to give
my enthusiasm.
Not to give too much away, but in this arc there was a particular bath scene, and the way that ends is just like,
yeah.
How could anyone be like, oh yes, this is good fan service. This is totally just normal, everyday anime fan service, and not at all used to shit on Kasum.
Well, I also feel like it's supposed to shit on people that are like into the fan service a bit too heavily.
Like Kazuma.
Yeah. Right. So should we move on to the last round? Okay. What's my last one? I
fucking love this show so much.
Oh yeah. Wait. Shit. Which one's my last one?
Oh, by the way, this one I could not watch at a faster pace because it's already too fast.
Yeah. I think the one I haven't done is Mysterious Disappearances. Yeah, that's the one I haven't done. Right. Okay. So moving on to Mysterious. Whoa, what did I give it last time? So glad we actually started writing this down. 1 star must watch. I am going. I'd like to. Yeah, no, I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna give this a 2 star must watch. But caveat. I highly recommend to people wait for the whole thing to be out to binge watch it, because the narrative of a lot. It's a long running string of events that have like a finality to how these mysteries are being solved and things. But like the last 3 episodes are covering one event, and it still hasn't got a conclusion after the 3 episodes. The episode 7 is going to have the conclusion. I am loving this series, right? But like it's riddled with fan service. I don't know if either of you have seen the meme about this series that's taking the piss. It's like, this is a horror series, right? And it's like, with all the fan service and everything.
Oh, erotic horror can be a thing, though. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh my god. Anyway, but I really like the use of Eastern folklore with different monsters and things. I am loving the development of not only the characters in the show, the backstories for those characters, but also the relationships between those characters. So, initially where there is spite and hatred, it does foster into a proper relationship and things. We have our main author girl from that I explained about in the 3 episode rule. And she was she's still doing more to further her writer career. I love that. Again, put anyone trying to be creative in front of me, and like I 100% relate.
Xeno feels about creatives the same way I feel about historical dramas.
No, I think that's necromancy, but regardless. But regardless of all this, I think the biggest question is, how have they not lost their jobs? Like it's a case of like, how does Peter Parker be Spider-Man so much, like 25 hours of the day, and still maintain a job, right? It kind of, you have to have that suspension of disbelief to some degree.
Isn't he a freelancer? So the whole point is he doesn't have a regular 9 to 5. He just turns in the photos.
How did you not catch the 25 hours of the day part?
Because we know exactly what you meant by it.
It's completely unrealistic.
25 hours a day, 8 days a week. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Right. So, but I think the biggest concern I have is, I think the biggest criticism I have is the fact that they spent a non-zero amount of time in the first episode really humanizing our characters to having a day job, only to then never go back to that day job. It kind of feels like, what's going on? Unless it's supposed to be like, all these events happen within a 2-day period. It kind of feels off, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Animation's great, voice acting's pretty damn spot on. Some of the action-oriented parts of the series is absolutely fantastic. I feel like I'm genuinely learning a decent amount about Eastern folklore and things. Yeah, I think it's a great series. If you like Agent Meg's Bride, I think you'll 100% enjoy this. So
very cool.
Fantastic.
All right, sounds like one I might pick up if there ends up being a dub.
Excellent. So we're going to move on to my last one, which is my best one of the season, which is Kaiju number 8. Now, I was a bit cruel to it last time. I put it at an acquired taste 4 because, again, it was one of those ones I just wasn't sure of. It's now up to a must-watch 2.
Nice.
I am absolutely enamored with the way this is actually presenting its world and putting the characters through what they're going through. I love that the main character and his problem with being Kaiju number 8 is not contributing in a positive way yet to his ability to be in the Kaiju Defense Force. Okay, and he's keeping it hidden. He's actually putting the effort in to kind of do it the normal way. And I love that all the other characters are genuinely just doing well. That all the other, the regular Kaiju Defense Force people are like, oh yeah, this is a really good crop of new recruits when they're brought onto the people with loud exhausts, and that you can see how some of these characters are just evolving their takes. Our supporting character, is he Nero? Or
the
like that.
the white-haired guy.
Ichikawa?
Yeah, and he's so he, in facing off against real kaiju, he switches out from their usual explosive rounds to cold rounds, so that he can slow them down while he's finding the right place. Meanwhile, our main guy is actually trying to use his knowledge to help the team. He goes out, finds the
because having taken these apart, he knows their weak points, so he can analyze them and stuff.
Yeah, but meanwhile, we've had this bad guy moving in the background that is a proper, like, maniacal villain kind of thing coming through and causing chaos. And the characters have seen him. It's like he's not like they may have not believed what they saw, but they've seen him, and it's not that you can see that there's something bigger coming out of this. That there's going to be some big build up for the end of the series, and get this for the end of the season, and get this bad guy character into the light and into the thing, and that's going to be their showcase moment. You know that once our main guy gets the concept, once he makes whatever mental connection it is to use the military tech, he's going to actually make a difference. He's going to become what he wants to be. And I am loving that build up to it. I'm loving it. At this midpoint, we are getting the camaraderie with the other soldiers, the world expansion of how these things work, the slow reveal of the other characters, like the captain here and her vice captain, the slow reveal of their powers in context. How powerful they are and why they're different. And it's just paced well. I'm loving this. I'm loving the comedy and the action of it.
Question.
It's not quite there at the high ranks of must-watch yet. Depends on how they actually land this before it'll become a must-watch, higher. What do you guys think?
I think Zeno wants to speak.
I do, but I want Nasuth to go first.
Okay. My question. I haven't watched the last 3 episodes because I got way behind on my anime, and I saw I wasn't reviewing this one, so I didn't prioritize it. Have they explained the little kaiju, the little flying kaiju that we saw earlier that gave him his powers? Have they explained any more about that? Or because it said like found you, like it sounded like it was searching for somebody that it could do this to for some reason.
Yes.
And so they haven't explained any more about that. Okay.
We've only had one other kaiju that can say anything, and that was in the training incident where all defeated kaiju come back to life, and the person that saw him has kind of either forgotten it or doesn't believe that they saw it because they haven't mentioned it since.
Right.
But
okay.
So there is something going on with that. Yes, we don't know yet.
So, I am not wanting to put a rating on this because I've been reading the manga and everything, And of course, as soon as I start speaking, there's a sodding siren going on.
Timing.
Every week.
Yeah, fucking siren. Yeah. But so I've read I think the first 5 or 6 volumes of the manga, right? Where we are with episode 6, we haven't even finished volume 2.
Wow.
They are adding in so much filler. It's really, really well spaced out. Like they've
It doesn't feel like filler.
It doesn't feel like filler.
Really, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's things like the training, right? The exams, right? That went on for a lot longer. Like typically, it's like in the manga, they start with the kaiju fight straight away. That was it, right?
So less filler and more fleshing out,
I suppose. But again, like they've added in characters that just don't exist in the manga, or if they exist in the manga, they exist for like one panel. They've introduced characters really early, right? Like the whole cutting back and forth between the like the events of combat and HQ. There is no cutting back to HQ in the manga. They have very tactfully stretched it out, but I don't know why. I do not understand why they have slowed it way the hell down to 2 chapters an episode, or like maybe 3 chapters an episode. And it's kind of frustrating me because I can feel that they're gonna end at like such a critical point, and as a result, people are not going to feel satisfied with the ending, which is gonna suck. Much like Chainsaw Man, right? But if don't get me wrong, Project IG are doing a fantastic job of adapting this, but because I've read the manga, this is not living up to my expectations. I would have expected us to be much further on in the narrative by now. I did actually flick through the manga before we started recording, just to see where we were. I'm like, oh, we're clearly in chapter, volume 4. No, we're not. Okay, we're clearly, and we're in volume 3. No, we're not. Where the fuck? And we're like 3/4 of the way through volume 2.
But Production IG does have a history of doing multi-season shows, so it wouldn't surprise me if they plan for a second season.
Help me out. What other shows have they done?
Well, Ghost of the Shell.
Ghost of the Shell.
All of Ghost of the Shell. I actually don't remember. Let's see, I'm gonna look it up now.
I am.
But like Madhouse or Mappa have often done like 1 or 2 seasons.
No, they haven't. Oh, sorry. I thought you were gonna go the other way. They're gonna do like multi-season. Sorry.
No.
Right.
And then they just drop it or whatever. So I'd be more likely to think that they're stretching it out because they want to make sure that they don't hit the end of all the content too soon. So they plan for more than one season, even if there's no news for it yet.
Potentially, but Project IG also did Heavenly Delusion, Fen and the Pirate Princess.
They did the FLCL stuff, the food
stuff. Oh god,
that's
not
true,
fucking Noblesse.
But
they did do Psychopaths, which has had 3 seasons.
And of course, there was their other big success in terms of serialization was Haikyuu.
Yeah.
Is that theirs?
For 6 years, yeah.
Where's Haikyuu? Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Are they doing the movie as well?
Films. Yeah, Haikyuu the Dumpster Battle, 2024.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's oh god, they did Ghost in the Shell Arise. Arise was so bad.
Yeah. It's such a shame because they did Dragon Half.
So they did Dragon. No bullshit. They did Dragon Half. I thought Dragon Half was done by a studio that got shut down.
As IG Tatsunoko.
Okay. But regardless, so it's very possible that they are looking to do like this. They want a multi-season series for Kaiju number 8, but like
There's always a
I'm
possibility
concerned. Yeah, we're just gonna have another Heavenly Delusion where it's a bait and switch, and it's just like, for fuck's sake. So
it's botched.
But again, like, you know, I mean, hell, my hope is that if people have, you know, watched it and have enjoyed it, they will then feel empowered to go read it, because it is a really good manga. So, but again, the animation is absolutely fantastic. It's gorgeous. What? What have you
I
found?
I had a blast from the fucking past, from the 90s.
Right.
With the fact they did the a 30 episodes series of Parappa the Rapper.
Oh my god.
Right, well, you know, the less that can be said about that, the better.
On that
so
bombshell.
should we move on to Nasuth's last one?
Let's do Mushoku Tensei. Which I wrote down must watch 1 star, but which is no change from last time. But upon further reflection, I'm actually going to give it a must watch 2 star for one particular moment that is spoilery that I will get into later. But the reason I wanted to give it no change is because holy shit, we're still at the school. I'm so sick of this place. Can we please be done with it? But that said, the content in this 6 episodes has been incredible compared to the first 12 of the season.
Yes.
Which, I mean, is why it's a must-watch again in the first place. But they always manage to perfectly encapsulate, like, seriously emotional situations. So this arc is mainly about how Rudy's sisters settle into this life, how he and Sophie adapt to them becoming part of their life, how he and Sophie have grown as people into almost adults at this point, really.
Family.
Yeah. Well, no, but I meant them specifically. They've become adults. I mean, they're still like, what, I don't know, 16, 17. But that is, for this world, that's pretty old, you know, to start having your own house and your own family and everything. You know, you can, well, I was going to say pretty old, about the right age to start having a house and a family and all that stuff. I have some speculations about the man god's motives, even before he showed up again. Are his sisters... It is one of the reasons he was told to come.
Should we hold on? Should we? I'd like to discuss those, but I think maybe let's put that in
spoiler
the spoiler
time
section. So let's hold off for now. Finish the rest of your review, and then go into a spoiler territory.
I don't really have too much more that's not spoilers. Other than that, there's a moment when things turn, which makes me think we're finally going to be done with the school stuff. That when it happens real fast. It almost feels too fast compared to how slow everything's been up until now.
Yeah, that slowness is what's got me at the moment. Because the first 3 episodes, I was on the verge of not watching this until the end of the season and binging the rest, or even dropping it, because the first 3 episodes were so slow.
But still better than the previous 12.
Better than the previous, but only because of him interacting with other characters in the right way.
Yes.
These last 3, where you actually get characters with meaningful issues, shall we say, that he can directly relate to, and can bring him some actual growth as a character again. Whereas this whole last lot, he's just been coasting. He's been coasting on his ability. He's been coasting on his reputation. He's been coasting on his state of mind, of, you know, where he left off at the start of the first core. His start on his problem. So he was the entire time solving one problem for him mentally, right? Everything else going on around is kind of just what's happening in the background compared for him. And so he's been remarkably uninvolved in events all the way up until this point. And then when his family come to him, that's when it actually takes a turn, and he actually has to think and address issues. That's what's improved this show again. So, I was constantly thinking to myself, this can't stay as happy as it is. This can't stay as happy as it is. This can't stay as happy as it is. Something's got to give somewhere in his life.
And boy, will it.
Because he's not growing. So, yeah. I'm glad they've done this. They've done the uptick in the last 3 episodes. Because otherwise, I don't know what they were doing.
I will also say that one of Xeno's predictions was pretty spot on that he made early on about when Rudy will finally leave. So, do you have anything to say before we get into spoilers?
I think weirdly enough that there was, so the 6th episode is called Turning Point 3, which is supposed to reflect on the events of the prior 2 turning points, and I can't fucking remember when they were. I know one is towards the end of season 1. Core 1, season 1. Sorry, my bad. And then I think the second one
isn't when he's when he's fighting the other guy,
Dragon God.
The
Dragon God, I think.
Okay, so the one's labeled Turning Point. The Turning Point 1 is his 10th birthday. And
is that the teleportation?
That's the teleportation. Yes,
yeah,
hovering over the city.
Yeah.
That's the Turning Point 1. Turning Point 2 is the chance encounter with the Dragon God. So this is the 3rd turning point that's apparently as important as those 2.
And
I would say
for it to I think for the fact that it hyped up the, it set a lot of expectations previewing the title of the next episode being Turning Point 3. That was 5 to 6. And 6 did not disappoint. 6 put a lot of careful consideration, pacing, emotions, the whole kit and caboodle into the events, and I absolutely loved it. Right? I think it is brilliant. I rate this higher than you two.
Yeah. But do you feel the same thing I did, where once that turning point actually happens, once he gets the letter, that it suddenly feels like it's going a lot faster, like it almost feels rushed?
No.
I think that's the urgency that needs to happen.
But again, it's all about the pacing. Now, I have liked the slowness of the prior parts of this season because it basically sets a different tone. And I like it when stuff changes the tone, right, in a big way. I don't like the formula. Like, a brilliant example I give is I'm going to say the old Western series 24, right? How many fucking times can one man save America in a 24-hour time period, right? And it's like, how many fucking, did I get 11 seasons or some shit? And it's just like, when you see it once, you've seen it time and time again.
But this show's always done that, where it's got like the intense moments and then it slows down, right? That's not new for this show.
No, but that's no. But my point is that I like it when it breaks the flow, right? I like stuff that breaks the flow. So like even with something like Kobayashi's. Okay, I will give you that. I mean, he took. No, it was 12. He took way too long with fucking bits. But
you can't say that.
Ah, damn.
Anyway, but the whole point is that, like, even with Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, yes, it's a slice of life, but there are moments where it's just hardcore action, and it's just like that's brilliant. I love this tonal pace change, right?
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it for long-ish stretches. Maybe core 1 of season 2 took too long, but still, I am happy that with all of core 2, right? I did have to go look up what the fuck was going on with the fight between Rudy and Luke. Is it Luke? I want to say Luke. The other grey rat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, because I was so, what the fuck did the princess mean by the end of the statement? And it basically, it was the obvious tone that she meant, but I was like, was there some sort of secret thing that I didn't pick up on? No, there wasn't. But anyway, right. Should we get into spoiler shenanigans?
This is going to be a bit of a long one because
Yes.
we're already at 10 minutes. So, let's get into spoilers. So
we'll give our audience, audio audience, a moment to go like, oh shit, I need to get where's my phone? I need to skip forward. There you go.
Oh my god.
Snape kills Dumbledore.
God damn it. So, oh gosh, which one do I want to start with? I think I can get into all these because they'll kind of intertwine. Yeah. So my speculations about the man god, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about any of these. These are just total speculations. One of the reasons I think he sent Rudy here wasn't actually to deal with his impotence, at least not directly, but more that knowing his sisters would come here would give him an opportunity to confront the depression he felt in his old life and kind of come to a weird resolution with it. Because here's the big spoiler: his little sister, the one that's fully related to him and not half related to him, is having super major depression issues. I mean, really bad, like the same type he had. And he recognizes this after a little bit. It takes him a little while to realize exactly what's going on. But the moment he does, he's like,
realized it as well.
I have to do something. I've been here. I know what this is like. I can't just leave her like this. And the way they handle that whole situation is beautiful. I mean, I was basically in tears.
I loved it when he knocked on the door and his own past life voice yells, "Get out!"
Yes.
Yeah.
And he opens the door to see himself sitting at his desk as he used to, or sitting at his table in his room, and he's like, and you can see it's a moment where he's trying to reconcile this thing. Yes, this was me.
Yeah.
And he's feeling that so strongly. He's seeing his old life,
and he's now in the role of his brother. Trying to fix
but his
it.
brother didn't understand the way that he does. Like, he understands what that feels like, and that gives him a whole different way to deal with it.
Exactly.
So that's one of my theories, right? Is that he was sent here to get that kind of emotional closure because he's going to need it in the future.
Didn't the man god say that the girls would have been sent over this way anyway because Lilia
probably would
has
have missed
family
him
here somewhere?
Yep.
Yes.
And then his little sister, who knows what would have happened to her without him there. So the other one was that his child will somehow be pivotal. Because spoilers, Sophie's pregnant. So either their child is going to be pivotal somehow, or they've said that hybrid human elves sometimes don't have such good pregnancies, which might also be a problem. Because now he's decided to leave, and if she has a stillborn baby in the time that he's gone, that's going to fuck him up, right? But if he doesn't go, his family could die, and that's going to fuck him up. So it's kind of gonna Sophie's choice here. And then my third one is that the teleportation magic, the layered circles, and the mechanical doll are all going to be things that are going to be very important in the future. And if he didn't come here to help with those, they wouldn't ever happen.
Yes.
So part of me hopes, because the pivotal thing here is that with Rudy going, it's going to take him a year
just to get there.
Just to get there, and then at least another year to get back. So that's 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And in that time, Sophie will have clearly had the kid, and it'll be at least a year and I don't know how long elves gestate for, but
So,
but I'm
here's an
hoping.
interesting.
I'm super hoping, right, that Rudy is able to use the teleportation magic to at least get there faster.
No, I think that this is going to be the thing where Rudy's going to journey as fast as he can. He's going to try and use magic to get there faster.
I think the teleportation magic is going to be more about bringing him
using
back.
his magic to launch himself huge distances or something like that. Some magical assistance, I think, on the way there. But I think that because of the work he's done, Silent is going to figure out teleportation within the world.
Yes, and then they can bring him back or go to him or
very quickly. Yes, or send him a message about
It's also possible that as she learns to bring things from our world, something that she brings will become pivotal in the future. So there's all these sort of floating theories that I have. That unfortunately the man god seems completely uninterested in revealing. But I don't have any other spoilers unless you guys do.
Well, again, I absolutely love the chat between Rudy and I can't remember his sister's name. Is it Norn? Norn. I love that conversation. Look, either you go to save our mum, or I go to save our mum, right?
Yeah.
And is
shades of Rudy there? She's clearly
you can't do that. You're a child. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the fact that this is one of those things of how depression starts and how it can continue. She saw a guy punching her dad.
Yeah.
And is told that that's her brother, the person that she was told to look up to.
Yeah.
And she can't reconcile what she saw with what people are telling her. And so she has to assume somewhere that there's a lie, that there is something wrong. And then she's compared to him, related to him consistently. And this is after she's being told that her younger sister, her half-sister, is behaving better than she is, and being more helpful than she is, and being smarter than she is. And so she's got this thing.
Not by Rudy, but by other people.
No, other people. So then when other people start comparing her to Rudy as well, it's just
this makes it so much worse.
And she starts lying to herself too, right? She comes up with these worst case scenarios, which is totally part of the spiral of depression.
And you can see that it's not just her that does that, because when Rudy figures out that he's technically the problem,
he also did it.
He did it. So when she did something like this, and so you punished her this way. So no, of course we didn't. Because you see those moments that.
Well, that was him trying to be protective, but yes.
Yes, but then when everybody else says the same thing, that they compared her to him or related her to him in some way, you realise it's me.
I'm the problem.
And that's such a.
But it wasn't really just him, is the thing.
No.
Which he was lying to himself because he's used to being the burden and the problem. Yeah. And
Yes. But he's also on the other side of it. He's taking his brother's role. So how can he be the problem and also need to be the solution? And it really blows his brain.
Yeah, it's so deep. I that was the moment that was like, this show is back. This show is 100% back.
Yes, this show is so back because of it. Anyway,
should we turn off spoilers?
Yeah.
I think that's a good spot to wrap up the spoilers and the reviews.
Yeah, right. There you go. So we've done this. Let's move on.
2 hours and 40.
Yep, to the supporter questions with the sirens going off in the background. Yet a fucking again! God damn it. Right, okay. Wee woo. Right, so moving on to the supporter questions. First off, Rick Hughes, a coffee abuser, asks, have you enjoyed this episode so far? Then why not give the video a like? Do you want to see this type of content again? You could always subscribe. Do you want to be notified of a new upload? Click on that bell icon. Now on to the questions. Ricky's a coffee abuser also asks, what anime do you want to watch more of right now but can't?
Kobayashi Life.
No, I appreciate that No Game No Life is never going to get another.
Bang Bravern.
Oh,
Yeah, Kobayashi Dragon Maid. I understand, Nasuth, I heard you.
gosh,
Right.
never magical girls.
Oh, damn, that would be hilarious. Anyway, right, so, Super Kami Thaylien asks, would you rather have a masterful cat who can take care of you in a comprehensive and balanced way, or would you rather a Meowscular chef who specifically prepares amazing food? The Meowscular chef. Then maybe I'll eat healthy.
Meowscular chef, would you?
Yeah, then maybe I'll eat healthily.
Yeah, but so much.
Healthily, yes.
The only benefit I see here is that the Meowscular chef has better presentation, because the masterful cat can also cook really amazing dishes. So I think I'm gonna have to go with the masterful cat.
Yeah, because
Yeah, but he'll also constantly put you on. He'll also put you on the weighing scales, which is like, hey, you're fat. Yeah, I don't want that part. I just
Yeah,
want
but maybe
food.
then I get thin.
Yeah, there is that.
You have to go outside for that, Nasuth.
Actual diet.
The problem for both of us going outside. Anyway, Zrul asked, "What's your favorite anime from your childhood?" I mean, anime wasn't around when I was a child.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager.
No. Okay. Yeah. Good.
What?
I was gonna say, well, there's actually one that I literally watched as a child, as a 4-year-old or 5-year-old. It was a joint production between a Japanese studio and a French studio, and it was called The Mysterious Cities of Gold, and it was pretty good.
Oh yes. Yeah.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great. It had a lot of filler, which but it was pretty good, pretty interesting, very strange, very weird.
Closest to my childhood, I think, was when I was in my early teens, and I'd stay up. I'd get up really early to record like the 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. time slot on the
Sailor
Sci-Fi
Moon.
Channel.
Oh,
No, it was
that one.
Arc the Lad.
Yeah.
Now, because I liked that one because the story was about like there was one of the fantasy things where there's like 5 people with magical powers and one hero who could use them all, and the hero's supporting romantic partner. But it wasn't about the hero. It was about the one kid who had the fire powers and his not so beautiful but also very cute romantic interest, and their story going through the much bigger story that was going on in the background. So I kind of
Samurai
liked
Pizza
that.
Cats.
Ooh, good choice.
Right, and then JPEG Boy asks, Earth is facing its end. Humanity is
Filling a probe.
filling a probe. Sorry, yeah, I was trying to read that. Filling a probe with some of our greatest
all
achievements
those
to
tall
send
letters
out
I can
into
see
space for future aliens to find. You're allowed to put one anime on it. What do you choose? No Game, No Life.
Ghost Stories.
Oh, damn it.
Mm.
Way to represent the best of humanity there, Nasuth.
What did you say?
It was the dubbed version.
Dub, yes, of course. Yeah. No, honestly, probably like Akira or something.
I would put the entire 4K resolution version of One Piece on there, so there's no data free for anything else.
Oh my god.
Do you think it'll be finished by then? JPEG Boy also asks, have you enjoyed these questions so far? Then why not go to patreon.com/Xenogelion, where you can sign up to be a patron and ask your own strange, unique, and or wonderful questions. Now on to the YouTube comments. Comments. Right. So, first of all, we have the comments from the news. So, Strong Michelle says, I want to read the Kanpai Cast doc, but
Yeah,
it's too blurry.
I blurted it out.
Denied. I remember that CGI Laputa tribute. was worried that they'd get a cease and desist order. In fact, I think it was covered here when I first heard about it.
The only one I remember is the Nazca one, the Nazca fan film.
Okay. I think I have a friend who would be interested in the Hatsune Miku and Magic the Gathering collaboration. I also want to know more about this Lazy Dungeon Master title you mentioned.
I don't even remember that.
I don't remember that.
I must have been. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'll have to go back and look at that.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Must have been some new anime that's coming out.
Zrugel says, Aura Battle Dumbine looks pretty cool. Looks like it could go over very well for the Gundam fans.
So I talked with Laws. We had to talk with Laws about this. Didn't he say it was one of the first, like, isekai shows? And it was also by Tomino?
No, it was by Tomino. I remember that one. I remember it being isekai.
I'm pretty sure it was isekai.
That Rubik's Cube Transformer is kind of awesome. I'm with you guys, though. I wonder if the cube would actually rubric. You know what I mean?
Rubik.
I don't care if there's no wish from Shenron. I want all 7 boxes.
Of that Dragon Ball Z
The
cereal.
Reese's Puff cereal, yeah.
Oh! Right. I was wondering what that was about. Also, I just want to say, Thaylien, I appreciate your blue dust ball friend. Oh, fuck. Don't.
And his blue dust ball friend appreciates you.
Don't encourage him, seriously. Right, okay. Now moving on to the comments from the cast. Whisper 1 through 5 says, I also skip intros and outros because they too often contain spoilers.
Very true.
That is fair, right? For example, spoilers ahead. I recently was pleasantly surprised. Hold on, let me just read this ahead.
Yeah, this is Ghosts and Dungeon spoilers. I don't know if we actually want to read it. Somebody showed up that was in the intro.
Okay, that's fair.
So other people might have noticed.
That was
spoiled.
No.
Yeah,
but really, because like they didn't change the intro until that character appeared. Like I've only just watched it, and yes, I've been watching it. Yeah, and the intro has not had that character until they've joined the party.
Right.
Wait, has the intro changed again a third time?
It says he feels like Whisper says they feel like everyone else already knew. So
it's probably because they
join right at the beginning of the second core.
No. Yeah, so they, okay, fine. Yes, technically they changed it a third time. Second time. Anyway. You get the point. Right. Zrugel says, how dare, KonoSuba is amazing. That was from Silver saying he doesn't enjoy it. When talking about Kingdom, I don't understand how CGA, computer-generated animation, can be done so poorly. Why does it look so bad when Red versus Blue looks so good by comparison? Why do studios not use the same method that Rooster Teeth used? It seems like such a better production. I guess it's probably something to do with motion capture, having next to nothing to do with conventional animation techniques.
No, it's because Red vs. Blue is 3D and made to look like a video game, whereas the CG is trying to look like anime. It's trying to look like 2D anime with a third dimension. And if you look at what's the other show they did? Ruby. If you look at Ruby, I wouldn't say that CGI looks amazing.
The other side of it
in theme.
The other side of it is I feel that with Red versus Blue with the CG parts, they had a huge leg up to the fact that they just probably ripped the models.
They were given the models.
Okay, there you go. That's even easier. They were given the models.
And they also had one of the most dedicated animators of action scenes at the time.
I thought it was mocapped.
Some of it's mocapped, but the actual
but if you look at
the animation for the fight scenes and things was Monty. It was Monty Owen.
Yeah.
And he was already leagues ahead of most other animators of his age and at the time.
I want to say the season before the current one, which is still, I think, is still airing. I might have just finished. Was done by a completely different team as well. Like almost none of the original people were involved, and it looked awful, in my opinion.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean about Pokemon going super cartoony in recent seasons, but I'm gonna give it a pass because Pikachu is heckin' adorable. Fair. Right, Strombus Shell says, if I want to listen to a podcast, I usually just open up YouTube on my phone's browser instead of the app directly. Opening it in a browser lets me turn the screen off and put it in my pocket, though that doesn't let me listen to things offline. To be honest, I appreciate the viewers on the YouTube one.
Yeah.
Because there's no impact on, if you get the idea. I'll be honest, I didn't follow too much of this episode because it seemed to focus on techniques and historical uses of art in the anime genre, but that's okay. It was an interesting listen. You guys seem to know your stuff. Or bullshit really, really well.
Yes. Well, yes. If you say it with confidence.
A little disappointed that Xeno glossed over. That was a strange thing to ask part of the last week's comment. But that's okay. Glad to know how you feel about the rating scale.
Of course he glossed over it. It's his least favourite meme.
Yeah. Thank you, fucking Nasuth.
You're welcome.
Speaking of which, time for the memes. Right. So all the
like
memes.
Regular Nasuth, just, not safe for work.
Oh,
So
my.
we have viewer memes. Viewer memes are supplied by you guys. You put them on the Discord, and we can, laugh at them and have a chuckle. We have not.
We don't see them ahead of time.
Yep, somebody else creates them for us, so we don't.
Up to 6 every week. And,
and we get ours from various different places. I think Nasuth has sourced his from somewhere completely different this time.
Yeah.
But most of them come from Reddit. But if you wish to view them for yourselves, you can always go into the links in the description below where you'll see them in all their glory. Right. Nasuth, if you would do us the honors of
right.
the first viewer meme.
So the first viewer meme. Echoes. Oh my god. I watched
the Dungeon for the plots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Senshi, best waifu.
Yes.
Would you rather have a muscular chef or a Senshi?
Senshi.
Hell yeah.
Hmm.
They're essentially the same character. Anyway, remember when floppy disks could save or destroy the world? Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
They could as well. That was the thing. Floppy disks used to, because that's all computers could write to before.
It's not true. But
Magnetic tape.
That statement.
Portable.
Oh, that's not true, but I'm going to ignore that statement.
Same energy.
Yeah.
One time I had the Kanpai Cast Twitter account post a Death Note cat that was yep.
Right.
So the reason all mine are sourced from weird and various places is I accidentally queued up some cat memes on the Kanpai Cast, and then Xeno fixed it, thankfully. But one of them went out, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with that theme. So all of mine are anime cat memes. There's the first one.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I think that's the cat. Well, I recognize the middle two. That's from Princess Reconnect. Oh, is it Reconnect Prince? I can't fucking remember what the name of the series is. I'll put a link in the Discord.
Princess Connect Redive or something like that.
Yeah, Princess Connect Redive or something like that. I can't remember.
Number 2. This is a boy. This is a girl. Know the difference. Cat has trouble thinking. can't figure it out.
I have no trouble thinking of those differences. Because I don't bother with them.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's adorable.
Another one of these reaction shot images.
Oh my god.
Because anime girls are just cats.
Yep.
Is that just lost?
I forgot to cut that off. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's one of his thumbnails.
It was him reacting to memes on.
Yeah.
So this is anyway. Cat girls expectation, reality. I brought you a gift. And me pretending to know the lyrics to that anime song.
Oh my god.
There you go. On to Thaliens.
I had a weird time with my memes.
Oh yeah?
Dude, shut up. Make me. Huh?
Oh my god.
Char, he doesn't like you like that.
Oh my.
Oh, Char.
Hey, are you sleeping? Yes, now shut up. Tales of Wedding Rings is just Avengers Endgame if Thanos was the good guy. Where are they?
Oh, I see. Because in the manga, right.
In the manga, there was more detailed artwork, and in the anime, they went with the practical.
More detailed artwork. More detailed.
Well, no,
okay.
Look at his armor, for example. It's so detailed in the manga, not in the anime.
Yeah. That's
Where
definitely that's definitely the part we're talking about.
Also, I'm just like, how much more hair has she just suddenly got?
Exactly. That's why
I think she has about that much in the anime anyway.
Anyway. No, she doesn't.
No? Okay.
No, still anyway.
Gyarados used Hyper Beam. Pikachu avoided the attack. The trainer did not.
Pikachu's getting arrested?
No,
he's making a report. Making a police report. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Laios from Dungeon Meshi. Rabute Gilman.
Oh my god.
Oh god, and the Breaking Bad memes have been amazing with Laios and Senshi.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. What the fuck?
So what we're saying is that modern rock, new metal singers or whatever they are, new rock singers are just anime idol performers. Gotcha.
Yes.
Anyway, I can't remember my memes. I want to actually stipulate. I've just remembered. I think my last meme is actually not safe for work. I've just remembered that one.
Oh my.
Right. Yeah. So, see, this is my cooking license. It says I'm allowed to post this.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be a lot of that. This is it. Right.
Let her cook.
Number 2. So this is what's it called? The last
Attack on
10
Academia.
years. Sorry. No. This is the last 10 years popular anime according to AI. So starting with 2019, 2015, One Punch Man, ReZero, Attack on Academia, Mojo and X Titan, ReZero with 2 sets, 2023, Demon Man,
Demon Man.
Demon Man.
Oh my goodness!
This image is so heavily cursed, and I love it. My favorite thing is like seasons. What the fuck is seasons on the bottom?
What is
Promised
Optimized
ever
Everio.
This is just chaos. And it's like just a school uniform. It's like this weird green screen uniform that appears so often. Anyway,
2092 S.
Wait, where?
Underneath the Titan.
Oh my god, yeah.
2012
oh god, on the left of the second row is like 223. Oh my god, I love this. This is just so pure chaos.
Isn't that just like a comedian next to Deku?
Where's Deku? Which one's supposed to be
Bottom
Deku?
left.
Possibly.
Oh yeah.
Like Deku and some stand-up comedian leaning on a microphone.
I thought it was Deku in the top, under the ReZero on the first row. But anyway,
I don't know if that's a stand-up comedian, but either way, yeah.
Enough
what
of this,
was that? Number two. Okay.
There's two. Number three.
Chaos.
Video.
I knew it.
Nice.
Yep. Copyright strike. Here we come. Woo!
Woo!
Jammo.
As I came into the window.
Michael. Michael?
You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
Oh dear.
It was
Yep.
the walking backwards past the alleyway that got me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Bro reading Berserk in public.
Pretty much.
I no longer wish to be horny. I only wish to be happy.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Speaking of,
yeah.
Here's your spicy meme.
This is one of this is what I was talking about earlier. So Studio Zero G and Weeb's asking, "Are you sure this is a horror play?" Studio G, yeah,
100%. Totally.
yeah, totally. Not safe for work. And then my last one.
I'm really enjoying our date, Genu.
This isn't a date, Jenna.
Oh,
It's
God,
just
no.
a family dinner.
You know,
Not more
when
of
I
this.
said I wanted your meat for dinner, I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, well, KFC was the only place that was open, so.
It's so good, Genu. You're the best stepbrother I could have ever asked for.
Again, we're not step siblings. We're blood related.
I don't know. Dad left a long time ago, and we have different colored hair.
We're
And...
not fing Jenna.
Fine.
You should just stop trying. Literally nothing will convince me to hook up with my own sister.
New mission alert.
Oh god.
Mission title: Sister Leveling. Sweet Home, Alabama.
Jack.
This mission cannot be rejected.
Kelly can't. Shut it, Jenna.
Yes, Daddy. Failure to complete this mission will result in your immediate death.
shut it. Yes, Daddy.
No one hears about this.
No one will hear except the neighbors.
God, I hope you're adopted.
Actually had two not safe for work memes.
Yeah, sorry. I should have labeled them. I forgot.
You got at me.
This may
You
be
got
one
at
of my
me.
favorite series of memes in the world.
Oh, fucking love those. Right, okay. That is it for this week. Obviously, people that haven't heard the memes are just like, "What the fuck are they giggling about?" Yes. Right, but it is now
Please don't
time.
click the links. Do not.
Yeah,
just you don't click his links.
Go to
Just-
YouTube.
okay,
Watch
please
them.
Don't click his.
Watch them in Office. They're totally safe. Anyway, right, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching / listening. And now time to bottoms up and Kanpai!